Low of 7 with the 4 o'clock news. I'm Michaela Kamarek. A serious player in one of Australia's major crime syndicates has been arrested on the Yorke Peninsula. The 47-year-old man has been charged with trafficking offences, including for upwards of $80 million in methamphetamine, ecstasy, cocaine and cannabis. He's also been charged with money laundering offences valued in what police say is millions of dollars. Detective Chief Inspector Darren Filkul says they've been after the man since April last year.
This male is also the subject of an FBI racketeer-influenced and corrupt organisation indictment, also known as a RICO indictment. This also reveals the level at which he was involved in organised crime and the significance of his use and influence on the encrypted platform.
Not everyone is supportive of the Premier's push to bring in a new class of licence and compulsory training for people who drive high-powered sports cars. It follows the death of 15-year-old Sophia Naismith, who was hit by an out-of-control Lamborghini in June 2019. Lawyer Karen Stanley says there needs to be a lot of public and community consultation before any new laws are adopted.
So that is not just a knee-jerk response. And I'm particularly concerned about the Premier's comment about people not being able to have a licence unless they can prove their innocence. And that is absolutely not the society we live in.
The Governor-General Public Service and Scott Morrison could be the subjects of a wide-reaching inquiry. Calls are growing for further investigations into how the former Prime Minister was able to secretly appoint himself 5 extra ministerial portfolios. Liberal MP Bridget Archer and Greens leader Adam Bant are among those demanding the review. The Prime Minister says his Jobs and Skills Summit will be seeking to improve training opportunities for Australian workers. Business is pushing for an increase to the migration cap in a bid to deal with short-term worker shortages. There are fears unless the issue is addressed, the economy will be $80 billion worse off. Anthony Albanese says both short and long-term problems need to be addressed.
What I do see, though, is that it will provide a focus on jobs and skills, about how we lift wages, lift profits, whilst boosting productivity is the way that we can do it, while putting downward pressure on inflation.
Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan is under investigation by police. Investigators say he may have breached the Anti-Terrorism Act for alleged threats he made against state officials. The former national cricket captain was ousted from government in a no-confidence vote earlier this year and has been vocal of the new leadership and the army since. Now turning to FIVEAA sport, Australian golfer Adam Scott has recorded another top 5 finish on the PGA Tour to qualify for the end-of-season Tour Championship. He'll join compatriot Cameron Smith in the 30-man field. Scott confirmed his place with a tap-in for par on the 18th hole in Delaware.
And Adam Scott, with that par, secures a spot, the only guy to play himself in both weeks. And you still got it, Adam Scott.
The fixture for the first week of finals has been released. Richmond will take on Brisbane Thursday week at the Gabba in the elimination final. Melbourne plays Sydney at the MCG on the Friday in the qualifying final. Then it's Geelong and Collingwood at the MCG on Saturday in the other qualifier. And Fremantle hosts the Bulldogs in the second elimination final. Now checking FIVEAA traffic.
Pretty wet and windy on the roads at the moment. A few passing showers, so take it easy on the wet roads on the drive home. And a fair bit of debris on the road around the Adelaide Hills too. Collinswood, we've got a smash on North East Road at Galway Avenue. Look out for a breakdown at College Park. That's on Fullerton Road near McGill Road. With urgent gasworks at Flinders Park. That's Findon Road near Grange Road. Busy right now, South Road at Karata Park with a camera at Ridley Grove at Ferryden Park. 20 years in the making. The Wallabies are back in Adelaide. Don't miss the historic rugby doubleheader this Saturday at Adelaide Oval. Tickets from Ticket Tech. Don't miss out. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on FIVEAA.
Now the FIVEAA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Rain tonight, a low of 7, a shower or 2 tomorrow, 14. Wednesday showers increasing, 15, and Thursday showers, 16. Right now it's 11 degrees. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News Tonight.
An Adelaide mum accused of horrific child neglect set free on bail. How eagle-eyed South Australians can put a stop to a rise in copper theft. The ugly truth of laser treatments. The simple procedures leaving permanent scars. Expert advice on the best travel insurance. And a supermarket giant slashing prices on hundreds of basic goods. I'm Brenton Raglis. See the full story on 9 News tonight at 6.
SA's greatest rivalry on radio. The FIVEAA Sports Show. Rowie and Timmy G.
Well, you better walk the walk because you've talked the talk all week, Charlie. Don't be a dead duck. You know Tom Jonas worded you all up to call us arrogant and entitled. Do you think I'm arrogant and entitled?
Yes.
Now, we're going to need to have a bet on this, Timmy. It's our second week, so the gloves are off.
Oh, yeah.
It's a showdown week.
If Port Adelaide win, you got to go down to the Birkenhead Tavern and we will get 10 Port Adelaide supporters to come down and enjoy a drink with you while you explain how Port won.
And a snitty. Now, what happens if we win?
If the Crows win, we got to go to the Ramsgate.
Rumble in the jungle. And I tell you what, on Monday when Timmy comes in with his little chops down here,
I have no fear.
We lost. Give me a spell. I mean, give me a spell. I can tell you one thing. I will never, ever, ever put on a Port Adelaide jumper. Ever. Not for a bet, to honour a bet, to never, ever. So that I will not sign that off. It'll be 26 apiece, Timmy, if the Crows win.
When? You know what I've actually found with you this week is you like to go forward. You like to go ahead and already be in a place that doesn't even exist.
My word, I do. Timmy G. Oi! Oi! Oi!
Robbie Gray's gone the barrel. He's kicked it beautifully. Oh my gosh! What a goal!
Robbie Gray! He's got two. Biggest lead of the day.
This is a big win. There's the siren. Congratulations to Port Adelaide, 57-point victors.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no.
The FIVEAA Sports Show. Rowie and Timmy G.
Good afternoon. Welcome along to the show on this Monday. No other result of the weekend matters. It is all about Showdown 52. The victor, Tim Ginniver. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Lee.
And Stephen Rowe.
Thank you, Lee.
Tail between legs.
Do we have to do this,
Good afternoon.
Timmy? Do we have to do this? Port did it for Robbie, smashed the Crows in Showdown 52. And Timmy, to honour our bet, we're off to the Birkenhead Tavern. That's the only positive because I love that tavern.
Yep.
It's one of the bureaus. We're going to have schnitties and beers for a couple of hours with 10 listeners.
Yeah, 10 Port Adelaide listeners.
10 Port Adelaide
so
listeners.
So it won't be like the locker room competition where Crows people ringing in, taking our tickets.
No.
This will not be like that. This will be genuine Port people, and you will be standing there explaining to them where Port Adelaide won.
I'll be pouring their beers. I'll be making their palmies. It'll be down at the Birkenhead.
And you'll also...
Brad Barrow will help me.
And on behalf of Villies, thank you very much for this, they're making a giant humble pie for you to eat at the Birkenhead, every single crumb, okay? Because, gee, you were up and about last week.
The human shield will just be taking all the abuse for 2 hours.
So who else is like me eating humble pie out there in the, I don't know, in the wide world of
the whole South Australia.
Obviously,
mates have bets on
Bets
Showdown.
everywhere.
Surely they do.
And so if you got one and you lost, what is it? How creative is it? We'd love to hear from you. You've got to eat humble pie. But you know what? The day belonged to Robbie Gray.
There's the siren. Congratulations to Port Adelaide, 57-point victors. And just to mention Robbie Gray, guys, we can thank him for his brilliance, thank him for his genius, but most of all, thank him for his entertainment. It's a Robbie Gray day today.
You know, what a way to go out with the way the boys performed and an amazing crowd like this, and just feel very grateful for the whole week and my whole career here at this footy club. And yeah, I did try and soak it up, you know, the whole night.
And last of all, to one of our greatest, Robbie Gray. We love you, mate. That one's for you.
They were very good today, very good, especially that second half. It was a good send-off for Rob. Yeah, fitting send-off for him.
I get emotional with them all the time, but this week I found it particularly hard. I haven't enjoyed saying goodbye. I know goodbye's not forever, but from a footballer's point of view, it's really bloody hard. He's just done so much for me for 10 years. He's given me more back than I've given him. And I've got his tag in my pocket because I'm not letting it go. He's staying with me. And I'm going to make a case the AFL next year to play 24 in round one. He's not going to be listed, but I'm going to try and play him again. You can't let go of people like Robbie. That was an emotional week.
Oh, there's only one Robbie Gray. I heard that. He's been big in my family as well. It's my son's favourite player. Went up and hugged him after the game and said, "You've always been my favourite player. Well done." And James said Robbie looked at him as if to say, "You the ball boy." What's the story there? When
He
got
would not
that
have done
free
that.
kick, I said this to Brecky, I might as well share it
Yeah.
here. And it was only a fleeting second. The game wasn't in the balance. The game was well and truly done. And James thought, I might just give a 50-metre penalty. Robbie can go to the goal square and kick the goal, and it'll be a fairy tale finish. He didn't, and of course he wouldn't.
That's his sense of humour, though. I like that.
But yeah, well, it wasn't sort of a sense of humour. He absolutely loves him. But that's the sort of bloke Robbie was. If there was ever any doubt they wouldn't do it for Robbie, well, then that was squashed. They absolutely smoked them in the second half.
I remember I had this said to me by senior players. I was 19, and in the room came a roll of past players, and they all spoke. And I remember Brian Cunningham saying, "Boys, you think it goes forever, but it doesn't."
No.
And I was sitting right there where you are, Timmy, and he said, "And I'm finished." And it feels like that quick.
It does.
And unfortunately, not everybody gets the fairy tale either. Not everybody gets Shane Crawford,
No.
you know, and putting the hand up and saying, "Yeah, that's what I'm talking about," and he finishes on a flag. The percentage of that would be so small, you wouldn't be able to count it. It'd be 0.00001.
Yeah.
So that was as close to a fitting farewell for a champion, because
Absolutely.
50,000 people there, and they did it, I thought, tastefully.
As good as any. How did you go out?
None of your business.
I
actually didn't know. I didn't know I was retiring.
Yeah.
And that was the thing about it.
Yeah.
Well, probably was better that I didn't know.
Yes.
I didn't make my mind up until December, which was interesting in itself. But yeah, it was sort of like, you know, physically I knew I had to have an operation which would have kept me out for 6 months, which would have been ridiculous.
300 games, 7 flags, an absolute great Timmy. Will they keep him around?
Yeah,
He
I think
loves
they will.
recruiting, doesn't he?
Now, that's the thing about it. And it was interesting to hear the press conference there with Ken Hinkley. And they said, you know, we'll keep him here. We're not sure why. And then they said about recruiting. The thing about that
I think that's his passion.
But it's a long time away from home when you're in that game.
Okay.
Because you've got to go everywhere. There's a new movie on Netflix, actually, about NBA, Hustle. And it's Adam Sandler actually playing a serious role, but it shows the life of a recruiter. Okay. And that's the thing. I remember Alan Stewart did it for Port Adelaide for such a long time, you know, before he went over to the Crows. But I remember him saying to me, he didn't see a home game for about 5 years.
Yeah. Both clubs have their exit meetings. It is the silly season. We'll speak to Bix and Cornsey. Bix after 4:30, Cornsey at 5. But the coaches, Tim?
Yeah, both of them, look, had a little bit of an assessment of their season post. Ken Hinkley first sort of gave a bit of a review.
Clearly, we've said we haven't got anywhere near our expectation this year. So the big picture would be we haven't been successful in 2022, but I'm really confident that 2023, with the right decisions and the right management, that we can bounce. But footy's bloody hard. You've got to get everything right, and we found at the start of the year, if you mess it up at the start, you chase your tail for too long.
I don't think Port ever got going. I don't think they ever got going. They had some really disappointing losses in that first 5. But the most disappointing loss for me in the whole year was the Hawthorn loss at Adelaide Oval. It was supposed to be the Russell Ebert tribute game, and it was a shocker, an absolute shocker. They were completely outclassed by a team that was probably never going to make the 8, and that sort of just said where this year was going. Then, and I think Nathan Bassett hit it on the head last week when he said, we've had to play on the edge too long. We've had to be do or die every week. Yep. And when the Essendon game came, he said, we just felt like, okay, shackles are off. Let's play that rolling football. And it was interesting to hear Tom Jonas actually point out that he just said that he felt like at times they just didn't have enough fire in the belly, and he likened it to the 2015 season where they came off the back of 14 thinking it would just happen. Yeah. So they've got to get a lot, as Ken said, you've got to get a lot right. So on the other side of the wicket, Matty Nix was actually pretty positive about the Crows.
When you look at 2022 and we get asked to put a grade on it, I think it's more about the development we've seen across the board. We've now got a squad that are performing really well at both levels. Our SNFL team are fighting it out. They'll play finals. Our AFL team have been in majority of the games they've played in and had our opportunities. Haven't necessarily got all the results we're after, but the way we're finishing this season off shows the form that we're going to take into 2023.
What do you think? It is a growth year, 9 wins.
Yeah, look, I think there's a lot to be done, though.
Sorry,
still.
make that 8. I still think they won the Showdown.
Yeah, I know you keep jumping ahead, remember?
I still
you kept jumping ahead. So, look, in the end, you have a look at that. It's one more game. You want to look at as many positives as possible, but I still think there's a lot of work to be done.
There's a lot of work. We'll speak about that with Bix. A weekend of footy, how was it? Port won the Showdown. Robbie retires as star in front of 50,000 plus. That was just a terrific. We called it, Timmy. A coach was sacked and cried. We'll get to that. Player sledged and a player cried. We'll get to that. Carlton lost by a point to miss the 8 in front of over 88,000. And Collingwood won their 11th game by less than 12 points in an AFL round. And I just want to say, Leith, you're part of our extended family. We do feel for you. Here's your stat. In the 8 all year, your boys, lost by a point after last week's loss to Melbourne in a heartbreaker. The last time that happened was in 1977. Both times it was Carlton, and both times Western Bulldogs went in.
Wow.
Only one club can implode like yours, but I just thought to lift your spirits, just give it a squirt. Yeah, that's enough. That's enough because they don't like it.
Yeah.
But, Leith, I do apologise, and you've got Timmy and I, our shoulders to cry on. Since this has been the week of crying.
It's the heartbreak.
Yeah.
This has been the week of Suki Lana. Should we call the ambulance
They
for you?
were in the 8 all year except the last minute and a half.
It's incredible, isn't it?
And if heartbreak is an actual medical condition, I was very tempted to use a sick certificate today because I don't want to be.
You had every right to be.
Nah, mate. Crows and Port supporters, who'd you rather be in 2023? Crows and Port, one's tracking north, maybe the other south. Have your say. And if you had a bet with a little cobber like we did,
that'd be great.
We're off to the Birkenhead.
I'd love to hear him.
We'd love to hear from you.
We will let you know how you can be part of that celebration. To give it to Rowie about the Showdown as the week progresses. Big show, Bix to come. Graham Corns, Tom Duday from the Crows, and also your chance to win Royal Show tickets because the show isn't far away as
When
we
is
get
that?
to the break.
Not this Friday. Next Friday.
A couple of weeks away.
Oh, wow.
Breaking news for Fleurieu Milk. Adam Kingsley is the new coach of the GWS Giants. He has signed on for 3 years.
Wow.
So well done
That's
to
great
Adam.
for Kingo. That's excellent.
Do you know what? That who's the boy that coaches Collingwood?
Craig
McRae.
Craig McRae. A rookie. Bang, look at what they've done. They've looked at that model and gone, wow.
And that Richmond system,
Good
so
on
well
him.
done to Adam.
04 premiership player?
Absolutely, yeah.
Good lad.
Terrific bloke.
Another
Yeah.
Port player gets a coaching gig.
And it's amazing when you look at premiership teams, how many coaches come out of them.
That's
Brisbane had a
exactly
few,
right.
Hawthorn
Yeah.
before that had
Now
quite a
Port.
few, and Port have had a few. So,
Wow.
yeah, it's
well
good.
done.
But a lot of issues on the weekend in the AFL to get your teeth into. We'll get to your calls next. Nothing about yesterday.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show. He's got one of the best kicks in the AFL.
Brilliant kick, Brody Smith. They'll bring the house down.
And each week, Crow star Brodie Smith joins the 5AA Sports Show. Thanks to ACET Couriers. Need something delivered for your business? Don't risk it. Ace it with ACET Couriers.
Get in here. It's Sheeds. We don't have the time to mess around. We can't afford any more downtime, and we need a result. It's about trust, and for hydraulic hose repairs, Ryco 24/7 are the ones. They'll get to you wherever you are. Their vans are on the road with fully qualified repairers, and they are supported by that other great South Australian team, BL Shipway, who I've known for over 30 years. Call Ryco 24/7 on 133247 or visit ryco247.com.au.
We love our vast rugged country, but out here is no place to break down. For 50 years, the team at Terrain Tamer have been engineering, testing and manufacturing off-road four-wheel drive parts. Over this time, we've learnt what is reliable and how we can strengthen a vehicle to ensure a safe journey. With Australia's largest range of four-wheel drive parts, we're the four-wheel drive specialists. So you can be sure no matter where you are in Australia, the Terrain Tamer team will be there to help you get home. With Terrain Tamer, you're in safe hands.
Well, it's not often you get to go behind the scenes for a home builder because most of them say, no, Jimmy, this is ours. You just sit on the other side of the security fence. Especially one of Adelaide's top home builders. I'm biased, but Beechwood Homes, I think, is the best home builder in this state.
You've been there, done that.
The stunning Beechwood display home at Blackwood Park. Look, that's been sold. Doesn't mean you can't get behind the scenes of a Beechwood home. Call Steve. That's your first point. Get on the beechwood.com.au. Call Steve and get behind the scenes and have a look at these masterpieces as they come together. From the slab all the way through, how they purchase, how they save things, how they help you, how they interact with you, which is what it's all about. Life's good. it's even better in a Beechwood home. Visit beechwood.com.au.
Connect with Beaumont Tiles and grow your business. Go to iCanWin.com.au. You could win a $25,000 advertising boost to take your business to the next level, supported by Beaumont Tiles. Builders, renovators, tilers, enter now. iCanWin.com.au.
Hi, Alan Lark from Mannix Air. Like everything else, air conditioning prices continue to rise. But we have some really great news. At Mannix, we have stock at previous lower prices. This means you can make huge savings on fully installed ducted reverse cycle systems whilst current stocks last. Beat the price rises and save. Plus, buy now with no deposit and 36 months interest free. Conditions apply. For a free quote, call 1300 Mannix or go online anytime.
You deserve to enjoy doing what you're passionate about. Gardening, for example, or walking to keep fit. So if your body is stopping you from enjoying the life you want, come and see us at SportsMed. Our Stepney Healthcare Hub includes our own hospital, orthopaedic surgeons, doctors, physios and podiatrists, so we can see to your care from diagnosis to rehabilitation, all in one place. Easy. Get back to doing what you love. sportsmed.com.au.
Scraped your caravan? Don't worry. Call Walker Crash Repairs, your RAA-approved caravan crash repairer.
The 5AA Sports Show. Rowie and Timmy G.
All of your calls to come 21 minutes after 4, right after we check the traffic for a new Mitsubishi. Two clear standouts, Wavell and Southern Mitsubishi. They're driven by Australian Motors.
Wet and windy conditions for the drive home, so do take it easy and drive to the conditions on those wet roads. And look out for a smash at Collinswood, so North East Road at Galway Avenue. At Toronto, another collision there, Hardy's Road at Henley Beach. And look out for a breakdown at College Park, Fullerton Road near McGill Road. At Flinders Park, you'll find Agent Gasworks, Finland Road near Grange Road with a camera on the drive home, Stanford Road at Salisbury Heights. From cafes to car washes and businesses in between, stop paying FPOS fees. No terminal rental, no merchant fees. Visit smartpay.com.au. Minimum turnover and T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Showdown 52, it's all over now, baby blue. G'day, Grant. How are you, mate?
Hi, how are you, Tim?
Excellent. What do you got for us?
How are you?
Well, what a bloody stupid question, Grant.
He's not well.
I was going to ask if you're going to play Can You Feel It this afternoon.
No.
Well, actually, just on
feeling the
that,
hurt.
Cafe de Villie's text, half of the Crows wins against North and West Coast. Not sure that's a improvement year. Cheers, Robert. That's a good point.
Well,
the
actually,
two bottom teams.
Bix did actually point that out in our pre-game. It was a good point.
Way to go, Grant.
Go for it, mate.
Look, can I just take a minute to explain to you, Robbie, why sometimes you're seen as, you and your club are seen as a bit entitled and arrogant?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, look, you call yourselves a club for all South Australians, but there's thousands out there that would rather follow anyone but the Crows.
Mm-hmm.
And then, look, a few years back, you tried to hijack the state jumper for your own heritage. That's just not on. There's people that really deserve to wear that. It's not a club jumper. And then there's your belittling and refusal to apologise to Sam McClure about the camp, even though he's been proven correct. That's just arrogant, mate.
Yeah, well, I'm 0 from 3 there, Grant. I can't defend any of them. Hello, Rick at Norwood.
Hey, boys, how are you?
Hey, Rick.
Rowie, this one's for you, mate. I need your opinion.
Oh, here we go.
We're about to spend $4 million for 5 years on a small forward. Yes, a fantastic player, great player. But on the weekend in the Showdown, we won the ruck, got smashed in the midfield. How the hell can we spend that much money on a small forward? We've got small forwards. Let's develop Rochelle. We need a beast in the midfield that can win the ball and put the ball down someone's throat. Otherwise, you're never going to be any good. We're never going to improve.
Rick,
what's your opinion on that,
I want Isaac Rankin. So let's start there. He's exactly what the team need. I've been told he's a midfielder, not a forward. I roll my eyes at that. I've only ever seen him in juniors with my son in the state teams as a small forward. Yep, could he squirt through the midfield? Yeah, but I'm going to get Bix to comment on that more at 4:30. Do I want him? Absolutely. Do I want to give up my first round pick for him? Absolutely.
But what
not.
about Rick's point?
They need 100%, Rick. Their number one goal, and there's a couple of good lads that are sitting here in Adelaide. One of them's a young Filippo boy who could end up being like Bontempelli, that tall midfielder that can go forward. That's my priority. And if it meant you don't get him at 800,000, I don't know how that's going to roll. Can you walk him to the draft? The precinct? No, you can't, because other clubs will get him. So I haven't answered it because I want him. He's what they need. pure class.
But you're saying
the ball. But
Rick's
they need to
right
live
as
for it.
well.
Absolutely, Rick's right.
Good call.
Thanks, Rick.
Beautifully done. We've got Dean on the line. Hi, Dean.
How are you? I just want to say, I think Robbie Gray, I barrack for the Crows first, Port second. I hate the Victorians, so simple as that.
Yep.
But what I want to say is we had Barry Robram, we had Russell Ebert, who were gentlemen and did everything else, and on-field, off-field, okay. But Robbie Gray is the next generation that's done that. And also I want to ask you about what's going to happen with Essendon. I think the coach is going to be the ex-coach that was there before. I reckon he's going to come back.
James Hird.
I reckon James Hird's coming back. They sacked the other guy, so I reckon James, can he come back? Or
Nah, I don't think that'll happen. We've got Sheeds tomorrow, Dean. Don't miss tomorrow.
Yeah.
We've got Sheeds.
I'd be very surprised.
Damien Hardwick must be in the frame there. Mark Williams must be in the frame there.
Well, Damien Hardwick, I believe, is contracted till the end of 2024. It does seem like a terrific fit, doesn't it, if you could get hold of him?
But they're imploding, Dean, led by rookie president in David Burham. Just on David Burham, we're not knocking him, but he was a board member when they sacked James Hird, put Bomber Thompson in, then reinstated Hird, and then sacked him and got John Worsfold. Then extended him when no one thought they would extend him. He was a board member then when that happened. Then they sacked John, but they didn't sack John. There was a bit of a handover to Ben Rutten. Appoint Ben Rutten, then sack Ben Rutten, then disrespectfully B-grade chase Alistair Clarkson, which was just an absolute joke. That's now a badge of honour for you, Mr. David Burham. And then in your presser on Friday, you had this to say.
Do you feel there are sections on the board, or powerful sections of this club, that would support James Hird coaching this club?
I have no idea, and that is it. Like, how much more hypothetical can we get, Tom?
Well, I don't know.
Like, I can't. You know, that's sort of like if 1 + 1 + 1 = 5. What do you reckon? I can't answer that.
Well, I will. You've presided over a process.
I think it equals 3.
To get your 5th coach in 8 years. So this is now your 6th, Mr. Burham, with all due respect. You better bloody get this right. And Mr. Burham, it wasn't as if somebody didn't give you the writing on the wall or the plan of how to do it 2 years ago. And that bloke was John Worsfold. He said this the day he left when he was clipped 2 years ago and got moved on.
Yeah, I understand that Essendon people think that Essendon should be better, but they've also got to understand that the competition challenges clubs now to work to the same rules. So the same rules of the draft and the salary cap, and no one team has any more right to be successful quicker than any other team just because they're a big name club.
Interesting. That is actually probably floating back to the days when the bigger clubs could afford to go and get who they wanted and where they wanted them. That what he's saying is those days are over. It's a very flat, even competition.
Mr. Burham's living in that, and so is that board. Whoosh is not a prophet. You've said it for years. Get the 4 pillars right. Your strong chairman with a strong board, a strong executive with a strong CEO, a strong footy department with a strong general manager, and a strong coach with good assistants. You're 0 from 8 there, Mr. Burham.
Wasn't a great weekend for the Bombers. We're going to take a break. Mark Bickley on the other side and be listening before 5. Your chance to win a family pass to the Royal Show.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowie and Timmy G. 5AA Breakfast.
The biggest story in South Australia over the last few days has been the fallout from the shock judgment in the Lamborghini case. We have the Premier on the line now.
SAPOL will be working actively with the Attorney General's Department to craft a set of laws that we can put out to public consultation to make sure that we get the balance right.
Informing Adelaide.
This bludger, the maximum he can get is 6 months loss of licence. 6 months.
6 a.m. weekdays on 5AA.
With fuel prices the way they are, it's now more important than ever for your car to be fuel efficient. Peak performance means peak efficiency, and that means Automasters. Book now for an Automasters Peak Performance Injector Service. Petrol or diesel, your Automasters specialist will clean and service your fuel injection system to ensure your vehicle is running at optimum efficiency. Save fuel, save money. Get the best out of your car. Call 1300 Automasters. Peak performance guaranteed.
When you switch to Aldi, you'll save more on everyday items, like pet food. What have we got here? Here you go, boy. And then you can spend more on other things, like pet training. Come on, do a backflip, Goldie. who's a good fish. So don't change your lifestyle. Change your supermarket. Aldi. Good, different. Now, roll over.
This is Professor Michael Kidd, Deputy Chief Medical Officer, with some important ways to protect yourself, others and our healthcare system from the current surge in new COVID-19 cases. When leaving home, please wear a mask when indoors or in crowded places. Cover your cough and wash your hands. Remember physical distancing. Test if you have symptoms and stay home if you have COVID-19. Together we can help slow the spread. Find out more at australia.gov.au.
Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Gliderol has manufactured and installed garage doors in SA since 1974, and their commitment to quality is as strong as ever. So if it's time for a new look for your house or time to upgrade, why not now? Order a new roller door, sectional door or customer designer door with operator by December 30th and you'll receive a free premium operator upgrade and 2 bonus handsets. For a free measure and quote and helpful advice, search Gliderol today. Retail customers only, T's and C's apply.
The Haval Jolion is a smart SUV. The design is sharp and the technology genius. But the really smart feature is the driver. Someone savvy enough to demand more and get it. Haval Jolion. Smart move.
With fuel prices the way they are, fuel efficiency is more important than ever. And that means a peak performance injector service from Automasters. Ensure your vehicle is running at optimum efficiency. Save fuel, save money. Call 1300 Automasters.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Good afternoon, I'm Michaela Kamarek. South Australian police have arrested the international leader of a major crime syndicate on the Yorke Peninsula. A Freeling mother charged with the horrific neglect of her 2-year-old son has been released on bail. The Prime Minister is confident next month's job summit will be successful as businesses push for more migrant workers, and the Brisbane Lions are set to challenge Cam Rayner's one-match suspension for careless conduct at the tribunal. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Quite a few heavy showers passing through at the moment, so do drive to the conditions on the way home and look out for debris on the road in the Adelaide Hills. Got a smash at Collinswood to keep in mind, North East Road near Galway Avenue, and another one at Torrensville, Hardy's Road at Henley Beach Road. College Park, we've got a breakdown Fullerton Road near McGill Road, and we've got cameras Hanson Road, Wingfield, and Port Road at Croydon. Whatever the industry, whatever the workwear, Totally Workwear can help. For workwear for tradies through to uniforms for nurses, head to Totally Workwear, Australia's largest workwear supplier. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rain tonight, a low of 7, a shower or 2 tomorrow, 14. Currently it's 10 degrees. More news at 5 o'clock and as it happens on 5AA.
Walker Crash Repairs. For easy insurance repairs on your caravan, get it fixed right with Walker Crash Repairs.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
28 minutes to 5. Bix in just 1 second. Take it nice and easy on the roads with the rain coming down. Your chance to win today with our mystery moment, $1,400 thanks to the Burrows, the Bergen Head, hosting Tim, Rowie and 10 rabid Port Adelaide fans just giving it to Rowie, which we can't wait. And also show tickets, that is not far away. Family pass to give away to the Royal Show. But Bix is here thanks to McGain Real Estate. If you're selling, they've got buyers ready to go right now. Sold by McGain again.
Number 26, the captain, Mark Bickley.
The skip, Mark Bickley.
And welcome, Mark Bickley. Well, it's all over, mate. Season is finished, done, dusted. It's all over, bar the shout, as they say. Bit disappointing, I think, definitely for Port Adelaide fans and Crows fans. Well, they were looking for an improvement. What did we get out of both clubs, mate?
Let's start with the weekend. In the end, the second half, Port were just too good, weren't they? I think we all saw that. They're moving around the footy and the way they took it away from stoppage. Their possession, the way they just used their foot skills. They were elite by foot, just kept finding spare
Speed
players.
and class, we thought.
Yep, yeah, just look a class above. And once again, it's sort of a changing of the guard, wasn't it? The best players for Port, Rosie was outstanding, or Wines was in there as well, but he's a Brownlow medalist. But I thought Marshall was their best forward. So in years gone by, it's been Robbie Gray, it's been Jonas, it's been
Boak Showdown medalist,
and it's been Charlie Dixon. They're all 30 now, and whilst Port Adelaide have had a wretched year in terms of where they finished on the ladder, they may look back at this year and say, well, it was a transitional year from when we used to really rely on our 30-year-olds to now we rely on our 23-year-olds.
Yes, which is a big one too, because looking forward, I think they said Melbourne finished 17th 2 years later than win a flag. I don't think Port's fallen that far, and it's actually probably got more upside looking forward. They do have to get a lot of things right. They've got to find a way where they can beat those top 8 and top 4 sides more than what they've been doing.
Yeah,
lately.
look, and I think that Port Adelaide should rebound reasonably quickly. Look, once again, if you look at the weekend and what we saw, if you think that Rosie and Butters and Wines are going to be the mainstay of their midfield next year, I think that's pretty exciting. You can chuck Drew in there as well. We look up forward, Georgiades and Todd Marshall are going to be two really good key position players for a fair while, and I guess down back is probably the only area, if I was a Port Adelaide fan, I'd be looking at, we need some support for Aaliyah. Tom Jonas isn't going to play on forever, and you just need, I think they need...
Well, we saw that with the injury to Aaliyah in round 1, didn't we?
And I think, Cleary and Tom Jonas, they play undersized just about every week, and McKenzie for that matter. All those guys, maybe being unfair to Tom Cleary, but the other guys are getting on a bit, so... I would be maybe like they did with Aaliyah, targeting someone who's about that 24, 25-year-old age bracket, someone who's got a bit of size about him in defence, because Burton, I don't think you want him to be playing on your tools each week because he's such a beautiful, creative bloke off halfback himself. So that's probably the only area I see some improvement needed, along, I guess, with the ruck. That's a glaring one, but if you think Scott Lysette can come back next year, then that's fixed pretty quickly.
I thought the 10-goal margin between the two clubs was a fair indication of the gap in class for the two clubs. If we all think that the midfield is the area of improvement for Adelaide, whether that be speed of ball movement, class to get it out of there, is Isaac Rankin the answer?
Look, we've been discussing this since his name was brought up, and you'd have to say if you're recruiting Isaac Rankin as a midfielder, that's got to be a risk, because I certainly...
That's what we're being told.
Yeah, I haven't seen...
He's a midfielder, not a small forward.
I haven't seen him... Well, right now he's a small forward.
Of course he is.
They're hoping he's going to be able to promote and turn into a midfielder. But even if he does become a really good midfielder, and Josh Rochelle, I think they're hoping that he's going to become a really good midfielder as well, it's still...
I've got absolute positive vibes for Rochelle to do it, more so than Rankin.
But even if Rochelle, Laird's got a couple more years, Berry, Rankin, Schomburg, there's 5 guys that are under 180 centimetres. It just, you watch the game yesterday, and I must say, the Carlton-Collingwood game, if that wasn't one of the best games of footy you've ever seen, and you look at Cripps and you think, what a dominant figure he is, and the size of him, the way he does it. Yeah, just amazing. And that's like when Fife was at his best, and you've got other players around Dangerfield, and you've got Petrarca, and you've got Oliver, and you've got Dustin Martin.
Bontempelli. They're the best midfielders you've just named in the whole comp.
And guess what? Every one of those teams just about has played in the finals or the top 4. Chuck Ollie Wines in there, the reigning Brownlow medalist.
He's 190.
Who just, there was a couple of times on the weekend, he grabbed the ball, he had a player hanging off him, but he just was able to spin around, wait till someone was there and handball to him. That's what having that power, being 90 kilograms and 6'2" or 3", that's what that gives you. Even if those 5 Crows players I mentioned, what were they? Laird, Berry, Schomburg, Chuck Jones and Saligo and Rankin and
Pedler that's waiting to come in next year.
None of them have really got that size and are able to impose, being imposing midfield. And I think that, to me, is what I would be saying is their number one go-to at the moment.
So to get Rankin, and he's 800, apparently he's over the line, are you giving pick 5 for that? Or are you using that for someone like, a Mateus Filippo, that's a local lad that's going to be around the mark?
Well, unless I'm missing something, you're going to have to give pick 5 and something else, I would think. Yeah. So you can't have...
I've said that and been shot down on the Cafe de Village text, but I'm with you. It's going to be 5
he was pick
plus
2,
plus.
Wasn't he?
Pick 3.
Pick 3, was he?
So if you pick 3 and you've had 3 years of development and you're just starting to pay that back, and he's had his contract extended by 1 year, so they've invested probably $1 million in him, or close to. I just don't know how they would agree and
let that go easy
and say, well, yeah, we'll take pick 5. I'm not sure how that would happen. When you think about some of the other, more recent times, if you look at, I think 2 draft picks for Jake Lever, a similar age, 2 or 3 years into his sort of career.
But they were late first rounders, weren't they? Pick five's a golden number.
Yeah, well,
if it falls, it might roll out of 7.
But if it's 2 first rounders, that's got to be more than pick 5, doesn't it? 2 first rounders. I think if you do the math on the add the points up.
So you're not doing that. You're not giving up your first round for Isaac Rankin.
Well, once again, I'm like you. I appreciate that he is absolute quality and class, but he's just not the need at the moment. I don't think. There are more pressing needs. So if you think, now, once again, I don't know enough about the young players that are in there, but, it's easy to, there's probably 3 or 4 midfielders that everyone's talking about in the top half a dozen picks. If you see someone in there that you think you can get with your pick that is top quality, who does fit that bracket of being 6'2" or 3", high endurance, classy disposal, you'd have to weigh that very heavily with, do we really need that sort of small forward type who we're hoping is going to turn into a midfielder?
Well, Cafe de Ville's text just landed. Crows lose Tyson Stengel for nothing. Then he kicks 46 goals for Geelong. Is twice the player in that jumper, yet we go out and get Rankin for $800,000 and give up pick 5. Am I missing something? That's from Paul.
Yeah, look, I think there's extenuating circumstances.
They had
there.
Tyson.
Yeah, but also he behaved himself out of the Adelaide Footy Club. I don't think there's anyone that could suggest that Adelaide just said, "Oh, we don't really want you." I think they gave him every chance, but unfortunately, he wasn't able to get himself to the place where he needed to be a professional.
And Geelong could.
Well, it's amazing what happens sometimes when something's taken away from you, and you have to stew on that for 12 or 18 months, and you look at the difference about, gee whiz, life's a bit harder outside of the AFL system, and there's a lot of other stuff going on, and if I didn't realise that what the opportunity I had, and then when Geelong offered that to him and they put the correct support around him, which it looks like they've done really well, then he's been able to blossom. But I'm not going to sit here and criticise Adelaide because I think they gave him more than enough opportunity, but he wasn't able to take that opportunity.
Hey, Bix, looking into the future, and you've got to revise first, a lot of positivity around Adelaide. We heard Matty Nix's assessment there earlier in the show. We've had a text message come in on the Cafe de Villiers, and it says half of the Crows' wins came against North and West Coast. Not sure how you can view that as an improvement, says Robbo. Now, you actually brought that point up in our pre-game.
Yeah, look, they've improved, and individuals have improved, which is great. And they will improve again next year. But a more sobering way to look at it is that wherever they finished 14th, I think they've finished. So above them is Hawthorn, Gold Coast, St Kilda, Port. So there's a couple of teams. Does anyone think Hawthorn will improve next year? I think they probably will. Do we think Gold Coast will get better? You think of Anderson and you think of Rao and Lukosius might get better. King comes back. They've got Elijah Hollands. They've got some upside. Will Port Adelaide improve next year? You think they would probably get better? And so then you get into the Bulldogs. So. Then you get into Carlton. You think Carlton are probably going to be pretty good next year as well. So
don't talk to me. Look at his little puppy dog face.
What I'm saying is,
toughen up.
Most clubs, just with if you've got enough young players. Like Fremantle have got a similar age profile to Adelaide. I think they'll probably improve next year. Sydney have got 7 players under 21. They'll probably improve next year. So you not only have to improve, you have to outpace probably 5 or 6 other teams ahead of you to be able to jump over the top of them to get into the 8.
Well, I might as well just go home now.
No, I'm not saying they can't. I'm just saying it's not good enough just to say we're going to improve.
Management just sack me and be done with it.
Crows fans, have you say? Your former skipper Mark Bickley is here. Are you doing the Rankin deal? What do you need? What don't you need going ahead in 2023? 8223 0000. We would love your calls for Bix. Just before we get to the traffic, take it easy on the roads. The All-Australian squad has been revealed. 2 Adelaide Crows are in the extended squad.
Wow.
Taylor Walker, who has never been All-Australian, and Rory Laird, who is a 2-time. Wow. So 2 for the Adelaide Crows.
Dawson missed
Jordan
out.
Dawson.
That's
maybe unlucky
I
there
had
not
those
to get in the
3
squad. Connor Rosie, no surprise for Port Adelaide, is in the extended squad.
The only one?
The only one.
The only one. 6 nominations for Melbourne, 5 for Geelong, 5 for Carlton. Some notable inclusions and absentees. Tyson Stengel is in the extended squad.
Might make the team.
Both Brayshaw brothers got in, Angus and Andy, but both Dacosses didn't.
Wow.
Josh got in, The young fella Nick did not.
Okay.
In the All-Australian squad. And no Buddy Franklin too, despite the fact that he's 4th or 5th, I think, on the leading goal kickers. So some interesting to come out.
Wow.
Can Taylor make the All-Australian squad picks before the break?
I don't think he's in mine. Not discounting anything of what he's done, but there's just a few ahead of him.
Are you a selector?
No.
Oh, it's all right. He can say what he likes.
But you think about it though, like Charlie Curnow is probably a similar type, and
Hawkins,
then you've
Cameron.
got Hawkins or
Cameron.
Probably Cameron. Hawkins, I don't think has been as dominant as potentially. Tom Lynch has been amazing, but he's probably a different style of player. But just think there's a couple ahead of him.
Rosie and Laird.
Yeah.
On the bench, both I'd do.
Yeah, well, midfielders, it's hard, isn't it? You know,
If they were Victorians, they'd be in.
well, hang on, Took Miller's probably got to be in there. You would think, and
Cripps.
Petrarca, maybe Cripps, maybe Oliver. It's hard if you're a midfielder to get in the
We will
All-Australian
find out
side.
very shortly. First, let's check the traffic before your calls for Bix for a new Mitsubishi. 2 clear standouts, Wavell and Southern Mitsubishi. They're driven by Australian Motors.
A few heavy showers passing through, wet roads for the drive home, so do drive to the conditions and look out for debris around the Adelaide Hills too. Got a collision at Collinswood North East Road near Galway Avenue. Nothing smashed. This one's at Torrensville, Hardies Road at Henley Beach Road. And we've got Urgent Gasworks at Flinders Park. That's Findon Road near Grange Road. Busy right now, South Road at Mile End with a camera, Martins Road at Greenfields. Want a Netflix subscription included in your internet plan? Get more choice when you switch to Optus Home Internet, the home of better internet. It starts with yes. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
I'm Kathy Nagel, Chief Executive of Western Hospital Henley Beach. Western Hospital offers a wide range of clinical services, such as orthopaedic surgery, including minimally invasive hip replacement surgery, vascular surgery and cardiac procedures. These clinical services are supported by an intensive care unit with specialist physicians and experienced nurses. Western provides ease of access with a multidisciplinary approach to your care. For more information, visit westernhospital.com.au or phone 8159 1200.
At Coles, get $15 off and 10 times Flybuys points when you spend $200 or more in one transaction online. Just enter the code SAVE15 at the checkout. Coles, value the Australian way. T's and C's apply. Offer ends August 30.
Now, I know we've had one of these, Rowie, and it's not the old hangover, which is annoying. This is more annoying than that. I'm talking about a sliding door that doesn't really slide anymore. It's only got one job, and that's to slide.
It's not hard. I mean,
not hard.
Come on. If your sliding doors or windows aren't doing their job, and it's important they do, get in touch with Rollerco. Rollerco, for nearly 40 years, a family-owned business. They've been making and fixing all sorts of sliding doors and windows. They seriously know everything.
And Rollerco have the biggest range of window and door parts right here in Adelaide. So they should be your first go-to for all things sliding doors and windows.
If you had a staffy, would you name it Trevor?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's what they've named their staffy. You're probably going to get into Rollerco. You'll see him at the door. Give his belly a little rub.
He'll
Because
love it.
He likes licking his...
his paws. Get your sliding doors and windows sliding like a dream. Call into Rollerco, Shop 3, 26 Jacobson Crescent, Holden Hill, or go online at rollerco.com.au. They'll get you rolling.
Hey Strikers fans, Jason Gillespie here. Forget footy season, it's time for SA to turn blue and get behind your mighty Adelaide Strikers. That's right, tickets to all WBBL and BBL matches are now on sale. And to welcome back the best fans in the league, we're excited to offer early bird pricing for a limited time across all matches. Don't delay, visit adelaidestrikers.com.au today for links to purchase, and we can't wait to see you back in blue this summer.
G'day, it's Mark Bickley. When you buy a Leader computer, you're buying a computer made right here in Adelaide. You're dealing with people that live in Adelaide, and when it comes to servicing or support, it all happens here in Adelaide. Not overseas, not interstate. Unlike some others, Leader don't have to send anything off for repair. They take care of everything right here. It makes sense to live life local. Live life Leader. Leader Computers. Find your local dealer at leadersystems.com.au.
Budget car and truck rental make life easy. Whether you need to move equipment, furniture, fresh produce or people, you'll find the widest variety of vehicles at competitive prices at Budget Car and Truck Rental. With 7 convenient locations across the metro area, plus regional locations, you'll find a budget near you. So if you're moving out or in, taking a load to the tip or going on a big trip, do it with Budget Car and Truck Rental. Call 13 27 27. That's 13 27 27.
Scraped your caravan? Walker Crash Repairs, an RAA approved caravan crash repairer.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
11 minutes to 5. Full border calls from Crows fans to talk to Mark Bigley. We will do that in just 1 second. First, we have family passes to give away to the Royal Show. Caller number 4, 8223 0055. You can join South Australia's biggest reunion. It is the Royal Adelaide Show, September 3 to 11. Get your tickets today, theshow.com.au. We can get them at Foodland.
Can't wait. Get your hot, tasty American donuts. All right, let's go to the line. We've got Scotty. G'day, Scott.
G'day, Timmy. G'day, Robbie. How you going?
Excellent, mate. Fire away about the Crows, buddy.
I was going to say, I definitely wouldn't give away pick 5 this year for Isaac. For a small forward, like, he's got heaps of potential, but at the moment, and 800,000 I think is too much, but if that's what we've got to pay, that's what we should do. But we desperately need, more than anything, at the moment is a big-bodied bull midfielder. So if we can't draft one of those in, like, you know, from another club, we need to use our pick 5 and offer them a future first rounder, I think.
It all comes down to the needs of the Gold Coast Suns. Like, might not be palatable for them to give up, you know, one of their best players or potentially someone who's going to turn into one of their best players for no return this year. It's sort of like they'd be saying to their members, well, we've got to improve again because we're going to try and create history and make the top 8 for the first time ever. We don't really like the idea of losing a player and then having to wait a year before we get to use it. I just don't think that that's going to be something that they would entertain. The other thing that hasn't worked in Adelaide's favour either is the fact that I thought maybe they could, if Adelaide finished down a little bit lower, maybe third bottom and had pick 3 or something along those lines, they could have used the pre-season draft as a bargaining tool. Well, if you don't give us what we want, you know, like, we'll just pick him up for nothing in the pre-season draft.
But not now.
Well, Essendon are there. West Coast have already signalled they might have a little bit of interest as well. All they have to do, because, you know, the suggestion was we'll put $2 million on his head for the first year and nobody will be able to touch it. All those clubs, I'm sure they'll be looking at this right now. You make a phone call to 3 of your top players who you say, why don't we extend your contract by 1 year and we'll just back end it and put a lot of that money in the back end, which frees up some money at the front end, and all of a sudden they get access to potentially someone like Isaac Rankin if you want to walk him to the draft. And then they get him for nothing without having to give anything up. Do you reckon Essendon might be into that? Because they were very, very keen on him making him the face of their dream time at the G game. So
it doesn't sound like an option by the sounds of that. Let's go to Garrick Collinswood. G'day, Garrick.
G'day, guys. How are you?
Excellent, mate. Far away.
Yeah, my concern about Rankin is that he's been injury prone. I think when he first went to the Gold Coast,
he had a lot of soft tissue early,
first year, so if you're going to pay, well, if it's 800,000, I want to make sure he's on the park, because you don't want to be like Fantasia, where he's, you know, in and out of the side sort of thing. So I'd be a bit worried, paying that sort of money with a guy that's got a question mark about his injury.
Look, I think the good thing about that, firstly, played a lot more footy this year, and even when he missed games, the last one he missed late was with a shoulder injury, so it wasn't a soft tissue. The other thing that Adelaide have been able to prove this year is Darren Burgess is, you know, as good as any in the competition. And when you have the right staff and personnel, and I think Brisbane have been great at this. Danaher hardly played for 2 years. He gets to Brisbane and hardly misses a game. Lincoln McCarthy hardly could get a game at Geelong because of his injuries, goes to Brisbane and hardly misses a game. So you get the right people and the right staff with the right program, and I think you can mitigate that risk to a certain extent. So I'd be really confident if he, you know, that's not.
And he's been very consistent this year. He's been okay.
That for me is not a big enough issue.
Yeah, do the physical, get the doctor's report. There might be a couple of little crocodiles on the curtains there. Hello, Pete.
G'day, guys. I'm not worried about the money they pay people because that's what the AFL pay. I just worry about because he wants to come home. Does he want to really come and play for my footy club, the Adelaide Crows? I'm sitting here in my shed drinking beers with a heater on, and I want a bloke to come and play for my club, not to come home and because he wants to be with his mum and dad and his auntie and his uncle and his mates and all that. I want a bloke to come and play for me so I can sit there and get up Timmy G and say, we won,
Pete,
instead of sitting there bloody crying.
Good on you, Pete. I believe
On
he
you, Pete.
approached the club, Bix, and I believe he loves the club and wants to play for this club. So that's why it ticks all those boxes.
But at the same time, if he wants to come home to be with family, isn't that what everyone's done? Isn't that what Jack Gunston did? Isn't that what Scott Thompson, Darren Jarman, forever and ever, Sam Jacobs?
Yeah, I suppose Pete's just qualifying, making sure that he's definitely in all. But he barracked for the Crows. He grew up loving them. So
best part about that,
that's
stick
okay.
it up, Timmy G.
Yeah, that was the best. I love that.
Beautiful. Drive-by.
Hello, Billy Bulvernickel.
Howdy, boys. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Now, I want to take you to task, both of you boys. I really do.
Which two? Because there's three of us.
Well, I'll have a crack at the whole three. Look, talking about pick 5 for Rankin is absolutely ludicrous. He is not worth pick 5. He's just not worth pick 5.
We'll say goodbye to any chance of getting him then.
Now, let me finish, though. You've had a fair go, Vic. And you're talking about he was a pick 3. That's irrelevant. I've got a very nice car out there I paid a lot of money for when it's 6 years old. Nobody's going to give me the same value back for that. It becomes irrelevant. It's what he is right now. And after right now, he's been playing for 4 years. His first year was a reasonable year. Year 2, year 3, don't even talk about it. Year 4, halfway through, he decides he can play football. You're going to get pick 5 for a player for that. You're just not going to do that. Adelaide will split pick 5. They'll get something higher and something back for themselves as well. And that's how they'll get him. If necessary, you talked about the pre-season draft. I don't know how many teams are going to front up if you put like $1.5-2 million on him for the first year. Look, you say that they'll grab him. I don't know whether they will because that ruins every other plan they've got.
Well, Essendon were into him. They offered very similar money to what Adelaide did, and Essendon will end up with the pick before Adelaide in the pre-season draft.
You're just saying he's not going to do anything else. They're going to sit back and wait for the pre-season draft. They're not going to trade at all. They're going to do their own trade. They have to.
But what they can do is just make sure they've got enough cap space. So if it does pop up by rearranging some contracts with some of their players who already have contracts, if it does fall there, they can just make it happen.
Yeah, good on you, Bill, and there's such thing as paper bags too. Hey, Cafe de Villiers text, here's one. Afternoon, lads. As a Crows supporter, my Christmas wish is for a new list manager, new recruiting manager, new GM of footy, a new director, and 5 midfielders. Cheers, Bill from the Bay, Moon to Bay. Billy, you're going to get probably one of those 6 wishes. One.
Actually, 5 midfielders?
Well, I can't see the recruiting manager going anywhere. I can't see the list manager going anywhere. I can't see the footy director going anywhere. I can't see the GM of football going anywhere. And they'll get one midfielder of the 5. Am I wrong?
No, you're spot on.
It's a bad Christmas.
Yeah, Bill.
It's a bad Christmas.
Underneath that
It's
Christmas tree,
sack.
mate.
It's coal in the stocking. Yeah. Bix, tell us about McGain, please.
Yes, McGain Real Estate. If you're selling, they have buyers ready to go right now. Sold by McGain again. I must say, I went to their conference. They had a sales conference up at Tanunda on Friday.
Gee, they have a lot of these.
They do. They're a great company. And they went through a values exercise, which I helped out a little bit with. And trust, authenticity. I'm trying to remember some of the other ones.
Loyalty?
No, loyalty would be up there. I think that was on the board, but they end up with 5. I'll have to get them quickly up. But anyway, self-development was in there as well. Honesty was another one. They have great values. We see that with the way they put in to the community. So we had a great time, and it was just reflected really well on a great company. So Mike Dobbin and Zoe Ball, well done.
And the results back it up.
Well said.
Well done, Bix. We will see you on Friday. Stay tuned. A little change up for you Monday. We'll tell you why later in the show. Graham Corns after the news.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
The Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery is giving 10 lucky winners a share of $1 million each just for getting in early. Get your tickets by midnight Friday and you could pocket $100,000. Plus, your tickets stay in the draw for the fully furnished grand prize by the beach at Somerton Park. There's more big winners than ever before. Get your tickets today at homelottery.com.au and support South Australia's healthcare heroes. Licence M14227.
Gliderol has manufactured and installed garage doors in SA since 1974, and their commitment to quality is as strong as ever. So if it's time for a new look for your house or time to upgrade, why not now? Order a new roller door, sectional door or customer designer door with operator by December 30th and you'll receive a free premium operator upgrade and 2 bonus handsets. For a free measure and quote and helpful advice, search Glideroll today. Retail customers only, T's and C's apply.
Hello, Frank Walker from National Tiles. Prices are rising dramatically on almost all building materials. But National Tiles are bucking the trend with our amazing price bombs. Like Australian-made Carrara Shine wall and floor tiles, we've bombed the price from $49 to an incredible $29.95 per metre. That's right, National Tiles is bucking the trend with massive price bombs. So rush into National Tiles now and save.
You know who doesn't need a pest exterminator's licence? I don't know, Will, a dentist? Correct. An interior designer? Also true. But what about a pest inspector? Well, surely they need one. No, there are some pest inspectors that can't do exterminations. Once you get their report, they fob you off to another guy to finish the job. Well, House Inspect Australia does building and pest inspections with the most qualified team in Australia. That's right, they're licensed to track them and licensed to kill them. Go to houseinspectaustralia.com.au.
Introducing the all-new Kia Niro, available as a hybrid or full electric model. This SUV is smarter than your average car, featuring Kia Connect technology. Take control of your Niro with your smartphone. Cold out? Turn up the heat before you get in. Forgot where you parked? Relax, the app will lead the way. The all-new Kia Niro in hybrid or all-electric. It's smarter than your average car.
Kia, movement that inspires.
This is a song for the unsung heroes, the ones worthy of a lot more praise. Like the parents now chasing the school bus, the one day it's not running late, but there's an unsung hero more delicious, who keeps our families fed and happy when it's cooked. This is a song for that unsung hero, Steggles, Australia's favourite chook.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Showers tonight, a low of 7 with the 5 o'clock news. I'm Michaela Kamarek. South Australian police have swooped on the international leader of a major crime syndicate. Operation Ironside detectives have been after the 47-year-old man since April last year and arrested him on the Yorke Peninsula yesterday. Detective Chief Inspector Darren Filkey says he's been charged with money laundering and drug trafficking offences and is also being investigated by the FBI.
Suffice to say, he's a significant player. We're talking multiple kilos of methamphetamine worth between sort of $60 and $80 million.
An Adelaide mother charged with criminal child neglect has been released from custody after prosecutors abandoned their challenge to her bail. Emma Short was arrested after her 2-year-old was hospitalised with serious burns, bruises and traces of meth in his system. Prosecutors opposed bail for the 34-year-old, saying she was a flight risk, alleging she had attempted to book bus tickets to flee to New South Wales. But Miss Short's lawyer claimed those concerns were unfounded. The boy's uncle Rodney Clough is also charged with criminal neglect and remains behind bars. The state's ambulance service has been given a much-needed boost today. 18 more call takers and 10 more dispatchers have been hired to help field around 800 000 calls each day. Health Minister Chris Picton says it's just one of the many measures the government is taking to reduce ramping.
It's a whole range of things that we need to do right across the system. There's not just one silver bullet that we need in terms of fixing the issues in our healthcare system. If that was the case, then somebody would have fired it long ago.
Labor has signalled it may allow pensioners to work extra hours without affecting their benefits. People on the age pension can currently only earn an extra $300 a fortnight, but businesses believe this amount should increase. The federal government says it's happy to examine the issue to help deal with current worker shortages. Coles will drop the prices of 500 products and freeze the cost of 1,100 more after Woolworths promised to slash prices on 400 items until the end of November. Home brand chicken portions, some dairy goods and lunchbox snacks will be cheaper, but fresh produce will fluctuate with market pricing. Woolworths Chief Commercial Officer Paul Harker says they know people are doing it tough.
Clearly, inflation is affecting everyone in the community in terms of your own operating costs, but our suppliers obviously experiencing higher costs have come in and spoken to us about cost increases, and we've had to pass some of those on to consumers.
Now turning to 5AA sport, Collingwood is daring to dream after setting up a qualifying final clash against Geelong following yesterday's 1-point win over Carlton, ensuring the Pies a top 4 finish. Skipper Scott Pendlebury impressed with Jack Ginnivan, who kicked 3 crucial goals after fears he might not play.
Under doubt all week, and then comes out in, arguably the biggest game of the season for us so far, and kicks 3 and made some really smart plays late, that block for Billy to give him time and space to finish. And yeah, he's just an incredible young kid that's experienced the highs and lows of football in one season.
Aussie Adam Scott has qualified for the PGA's 30-man Tour Championship after recording a top 5 finish in Delaware, and Borna Coric and Caroline Garcia have won the titles at the Cincinnati Tennis Masters. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Complete windscreens, same-day service and best price guaranteed. Proudly South Australian since 1976. Complete windscreens.
Wet and windy for the drive home, so do drive to the conditions and look out for a fair bit of debris on the road through the Adelaide Hills as well. We've got a smash at Torrensville to keep in mind. That's Hardy's Road at Henley Beach Road, and Salisbury South, another collision there, Main North Road at Clayson Road. Keep an eye for a breakdown. College Park, that's Fullerton Road near McGill Road, with a camera Cavern Road at Dry Creek. If you're heading to South Australia's biggest reunion, the Royal Adelaide Show, pop into your local Foodland before you head to the showgrounds and pre-purchase your tickets to enjoy some mighty savings. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage. Visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Showers tonight, a low of 7, a shower or 2 tomorrow, 14. Wednesday showers 14, and Thursday showers continuing 16. Right now it's 10 degrees. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News Tonight.
An Adelaide mum accused of horrific child neglect set free on bail. How eagle-eyed South Australians can put a stop to a rise in copper theft. The ugly truth of laser treatments, the simple procedures leaving permanent scars, expert advice on the best travel insurance, and a supermarket giant slashing prices on hundreds of basic goods. I'm Brenton Raglis. See the full story on 9 News tonight at 6.
SA's greatest rivalry on radio, the 5AA Sports Show. Rowie and Timmy G.
Well, you better walk the walk because you've talked the talk all week, Charlie. Don't be a dead duck. You know Tom Jonas worded you all up to call us arrogant and entitled. You think I'm arrogant and entitled?
Yes.
Now, we're going to need to have a bet on this, Timmy. It's our second week, so the gloves are off.
Oh, yeah.
It's a showdown week.
If Port Adelaide win, you got to go down to the Birkenhead Tavern, and we will get 10 Port Adelaide supporters to come down and enjoy a drink with you while you explain how Port won.
And a snitty. Now, what happens if we win?
If the Crows win, we got to go to the Ramsgate.
Rumble in the jungle. And I tell you what, on Monday when Timmy comes in with his little chops down here,
I have no fear.
We lost. Give me a spell. Give me a spell. I can tell you one thing. I will never, ever, ever put on a Port Adelaide jumper. Ever. Not for a bet, to honour a bet, to never, ever. So that I will not sign that off. It'll be 26 apiece, Timmy, if the Crows win.
When? I've actually found with you this week is you like to go forward. You like to go ahead and already be in a place that doesn't even exist.
My word, I do. Timmy G. Oi! Oi! Oi!
Robbie Gray's gone the barrel. He's kicked it beautifully. Oh my gosh! What a goal!
Robbie Gray! He's got 2. Biggest lead of the day.
This is a big win. There's the siren. Congratulations to Port Adelaide, 57-point victors.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no.
The 5AA Sports Show. Rowie and Timmy G.
Well, that's how Rowie was feeling post-game,
Here
a
we
little
go
bit of that.
again.
The good news is the first 2 tickets to be at the Birkenhead Tavern will be given away tomorrow on the show, so be listening for your chance. Port Adelaide diehards,
I lost
the
the bet.
more obnoxious, the better. Your chance to join Tim and
Here's
Rowie.
the prerequisite. You've
Yes.
got to have your own front teeth.
Oh, here we go. He always falls back to this,
What?
Graham. I don't understand
No,
it.
You're better than that, Robbie.
You are.
I'm
Come
not.
on, lift up.
He's actually not.
It was a, look, it was
You
a
know me well.
It was a stupid bet. You should have got some odds. You should have got
I
points.
tried, but
here
they
we
wouldn't
go.
give them to me. The margin was
Here we go.
17,
See,
so I still
you
would have
won round
lost.
See,
3
you're
and
as
you're...
bad as the Crows were last week in the lead up.
Yes, thank you.
The psychological battle
Yeah.
the game was all over before it started.
Well, that voice you can hear is AFL Hall of Famer Graham Corns.
So explain
He just
that.
barged into my change rooms
So
again.
it worked.
I can't believe it.
The arrogant and entitled work, that psychological battle that started with your son, I hate them.
Well, nobody effectively countered the sledging that they were hurling at the Crows. You just stood back and copped it. It was so pathetic. They could have at least fought fire with fire, but instead they just sat back and copped it. And then it was the first half of that game was the worst game of footy I've seen this year, I think. And then they just ran away with it in the second half. They lost the psychological battle.
By the same token, was it a risk Port Adelaide took?
Definitely.
That maybe wasn't wasn't needed.
Fortune favours the brave.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, good saying.
Because we're all thinking, you're rabbiting on and we'll bring you down, but nobody sort of rose to that occasion. Nobody rose to the challenge. Nixie had a bit of a crack, but there was no counter to it, and it just.
Maybe because it's
it
true.
was just like the Crows were sitting there, like they were just sitting ducks. Waiting to be plucked off.
Well, only in the second half, but it's the midfield.
Where'd you think it was won?
Well,
the gap between the two teams.
You got
is
a dominant
that close to the
ruckman.
midfield.
You got a dominant ruckman who's winning every hit out, basically, and your midfield can't capitalise on clearance. Port Adelaide win the clearances.
Exactly.
Something's.
To be fair, Port have been doing that for a great portion of the year, haven't they? They've lost the ruck, but they've won the clearance.
Not always. They haven't won the centre clearances. They've won clearances around the ground, but I think if you go back to over most of the last half of the season, they've been smashed in the midfield
against the better teams. So Richmond got them a couple of weeks ago and did that to them, but they against probably the lesser teams, I say, they've been able to win clearance and centre clearance.
The gap of class of the midfield was the difference. End of story.
Well, it did puzzle me too. They did put Ben Keys back in there at some stage. I know he did a little bit in the second half, but strategically, tactically, I think Port Adelaide won the battle. And certainly off the field they did, and then they just blew them away. It was yes, there was an emotion around Robbie Gray. The pre-match stuff worked because who would have thought a dead rubber. Like the game meant nothing.
50,000
and 50,000 people
How good's
rocked
that?
up. So crowd scenes were amazing. Wasn't too much trouble. What did you think of the streaker?
Well, he wasn't a streaker. He was
a
fully
pitch
dressed.
invader.
God, he was quick.
The pitch invader.
Yeah.
He was stepping high towards the end. But
Yeah.
So what did you think? What did you really think?
Well, it was amusing.
Well, it was.
Amusing?
Yeah, well, when the security guard fell over,
That was
I wanted him
funny.
to get to the other end and run off. I wanted him to succeed.
But see, this is the point. Everyone thinks, it's a bloody disgrace. You've got to kick him out.
Nah,
But I looked around where we were sitting.
Everyone was laughing.
Everybody was laughing.
Everyone was
The thing was, it wasn't a crucial part of the game.
That's true.
But,
so I
but
think
Timmy,
that helped
he
a bit.
was fully dressed.
Oh, yeah,
in
fully dressed.
slacks.
Had a scarf.
He had his Julius Marlowe's on. He got no traction.
No.
But he gave it to her through the middle.
He had a very high lift.
Oh,
I did.
Very high lift.
The best text I saw was, "Hey, Nixie, there's your tall midfielder."
You're inside
Well, he's
mid.
quicker than any mid they've got. What do Port need to bounce back, Stud?
Well, they need a ruckman.
Haven't they got one, Lysett?
Well, Scotty hopefully gets a good pre-season in. Shoulder is
Yeah,
right, but
look.
I know where you're going. We don't have a junior ruckman ready to come up in a couple of years.
Well, Carlton have got one they dropped. Rucked most of the year for them when they were winning. And
I would go.
And they dropped in the last 6 games.
I'd go 100 mile an hour for him.
How did that go?
Yeah, I'd go 100 mile an hour for him. Love him.
He's definitely a goer. I would have thought. So then they definitely need a ruckman. They need another tall defence. Their defence held up pretty well yesterday.
Yep.
Sorry, Saturday night. Held up really well. Alir on. Taylor Walker hasn't had that good an opponent all year. I think that's probably the quietest game he's had. He's in the All-Australian squad.
Yep. Yeah, deservedly
he
so.
Might make it. He possibly deserve. It's going to be hard with those key forwards. There's probably a couple of others, Lynch and Curnow, I guess would probably take
Jeremy Cameron from
Jeremy Cameron. Tom Hawkins probably in front of him.
So another tall defender.
Another tall defender. To go with it, but they don't need much.
No,
they don't need much.
Maybe one more midfielder.
Well, you always need a midfielder, don't you? But you've got Butters, you've got Rosie, probably all Australian. You've got Ollie Wines, you've got Travis Boak, who'll go round again. So Dersma coming into it.
Yeah,
so.
but Robbie Gray's now out, who used to go through there. Travis is going to be 35 next year. You've got to have somebody in the wings to take that spot, don't you?
I just wonder if there's anyone on their list, but certainly they'll probably draft.
I like Jackson Mead.
He will come in, I reckon. He'll come in. But
he had a taste of it.
You can never have enough midfielders, I reckon.
No.
He definitely looked good, didn't he?
I think he's clean as.
What about the Crows, Stud?
Oh, where do I start?
Well, start where you want to start.
I'm just disappointed they didn't fight back last week. They're just pathetic. You got to fight. You can't let these wharfies from whatever and I want to say ferals, but that's probably a bit unkind from you. Don't
lower them on standard, Stud.
That's right. That's his field.
Well, bear in mind one of them was my son.
Well,
they just walked all over the Crows like that. So that was look. The midfield is the issue.
End of story.
And Harry Schonberg's been good, and he was good again. I thought
he'll get there
in parts. And Sam Berry was good. Ben Keys, he's been good in the midfield, but he's not an elite user of the ball. So yes, if they can get one or two. I don't know how they're going to do it. In the paper yesterday, I wrote about Josh Dunkley from.
We're getting a lot of text. Dunkley for me. Let's get Dunkley on the Cafe de Village text. A lot of them want.
He had a good game on the weekend.
I think Porter into him a million miles an hour.
But Porter, but he doesn't understand what it's like. Someone's got to get over and say, look, you don't go to the dark side.
You can't.
If you want to.
Well, you're the man to do it. Your two boys went to the dark side. Now's it done for them.
A lot of fun over there. A lot of fun.
Okay.
No, you should be like. I think Crows should be able to match or counter anything Port Adelaide offer and offer him probably maybe a little. Port have got the advantage of taking him into Alberton. You walk into Alberton and say, look, okay, this is our history. This is where we're from. Crows have a little bit more difficulty doing that because you just take him to West Lakes.
But in all
they can sell the hope of the future.
That home base, and I heard somebody, I think it was Ron Joseph, or somebody slagging off Essendon and saying that soulless place, which I have been to Tullamarine. The facilities themselves are great, but there's not a great feeling about it. How serious is that for Adelaide that they have to find a home?
Look, you can convince young men. You can excite them with your future. And I keep thinking one of North Melbourne's great eras was under Dennis Pagan, when they had the Wayne Careys and
absolutely
the great players, but their facilities were horrible.
And they did it, on the old eye of the tiger type mentality.
So you can sell the vision. You can sell the vision.
I drove past today. There's going to be another building built on the boulevard, which is going to cover the whole of the Adelaide Crows.
But
it's not a great site.
We made a prelim in '93 out of an Atco Hut.
Exactly right. No, we had the new building by then.
Okay.
We started with an Atco Hut. No, but you can sell the positives because they've still got good quarters and their gym facilities and their pool, and the ground is still one of the best in the country. So it just doesn't have the surrounds yet. So if you sell the positives and you sell the future.
Well, after the break, we're going to talk about the Carlton disaster. Ben Rutten tears and Dane Zorko having a bit of a spit on the field made a player cry. And what's on the field, should it stay on the field? We'll ask Stud that after the break.
More to come with Cornsey, 17 minutes after 5. Here's the traffic for your drive home for a new Mitsubishi. Two clear standouts, Wavell and Southern Mitsubishi, driven by Australian Motors.
At Bedford Park, residual delays from an earlier breakdown on the Southern Expressway near Alex Road heading outbound. Globe Derby Park, works causing delays on the North-South motorway near St Kilda Road for outbound. Flinders Park, you find urgent gasworks, Findon Road near Grange Road, and we're getting busy at the Parade, Glenburn Road to Port Rush Road. Cameras, Hamilton Road, Fairview Park, and Port Road at Croydon. Is your car making a strange sound? Book in for a Petters $28 brakes during a suspension check. Get peace of mind today. Visit petters.com.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowie and Timmy G. Tune into the 5AA Sports Show each week for Where Are They Now? The sporting names you remember from the past revisited. Thanks to Walco. Time to get a Walco Guardian pool cover. Your pool will thank you. Walco.com.au.
Time to find out what's making news in the Channel 7 newsroom as we welcome Jane Doyle to the show. And Jane, some outrage about a woman released on bail.
Indeed. 34-year-old Emma Short is the mother of the little boy who was allegedly neglected. This is the one that was deemed to have been burnt with boiling water. Now, the father's family is outraged that this mum has been released on bail. A suicide inquest is investigating if workplace bullying led to the death. More than 24 new jobs at the SA ambulance service are going to help with 800 calls a day, but the government even admits it's no answer to the bed block within our hospital system. And if you haven't been outside this afternoon, there's an icy blast that's hit Adelaide, and snow and hail could be on the horizon overnight.
Dear.
Amelia will have the details. In sport, could Ben Rutten's sacking by Essendon yesterday lead to Ken Hinkley's departure? Meantime, Port's Carl Amon is heading home. We'll talk to him tonight, and some top overseas talent up for grabs in the inaugural Big Bash League draft. We'll have details tonight at 6 in 7 News. See you then.
Brilliant, Jane. Jane Doyle and all the team at Channel 7. There's only one choice, 7 News tonight at 6.
G'day, it's Eddie May from NRG Solar. Don't you hate it when things are out of your control, like electricity prices? Well, they're skyrocketing. Wait until your winter power bill comes in and you'll see exactly what I mean. With NRG Solar on your roof, combined with battery storage, you could zero out those power bills altogether. Visit nrgsolar.com.au today and take control of your power bills for good. That's nrgsolar.com.au or visit our interactive showroom at 406 South Road at Richmond.
Gliderol has manufactured and installed garage doors in SA since 1974, and their commitment to quality is as strong as ever. So if it's time for a new look for your house or time to upgrade, why not now? Order a new roller door, sectional door or customer designer door with operator by December 30th and you'll receive a free premium operator upgrade and 2 bonus handsets. For a free measure and quote and helpful advice, search Gliderol today. Retail customers only, T's and C's apply.
Did you know that after his passing, music legend David Bowie requested a direct cremation with no service or celebration or family in attendance? For a farewell without all the fanfare, talk to simplicityfunerals.com.au.
G'day, it's Mark Bickley. Schools, councils and businesses all over South Australia choose Leader Computers for very important reasons. Leader is local and exceptional value. No matter what happens, Leader can be on site to fix your problem. No overseas or interstate call centres to deal with. Plus, Leader Computers is a 100% owned and operated South Australian company, offering fast same-day delivery and setup. That's why so many organisations rely on Leader. Google Leader Computers to find your closest Leader reseller.
Hey Strikers fans, Jason Gillespie here. Forget footy season, it's time for SA to turn blue and get behind your mighty Adelaide Strikers. That's right, tickets to all WBBL and BBL matches are now on sale. And to welcome back the best fans in the league, we're excited to offer early bird pricing for a limited time across all matches. Don't delay, visit adelaidestrikers.com.au today for links to purchase, and we can't wait to see you back in blue this summer.
Walker Crash Repairs. For easy insurance repairs on your caravan, get it fixed right with Walker Crash Repairs.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
22 minutes after 5. Don't miss the historic rugby doubleheader at the Adelaide Oval this coming weekend. The Wallabies and the Wallaroos are taking on South Africa and New Zealand. It's Saturday, August 27. You can get your tickets now from Ticketek. And the reason Graham Corns is here on a Monday is because tomorrow, Rowie and Timmy G will be on the Gold Coast, embedded in Wallabies headquarters, coming to you live from the beautiful Gold Coast, right in amongst our Wallabies ahead of this big game.
Well, more than that, the Premier's Department sent us Not we're going to cover
Oh,
it. The Premier's Department stud are putting us on a kite at 25F, not 1A.
Yep.
And we're saying, well, not at the best resort, but it's around the mark.
Pretty good.
To cover the Wallabies, because on Saturday they're coming to town, stud.
I want to hear you call some of those names with Polynesian heritage. So
yeah, okay, well, we'll do that.
Actually, I hope people get along to Adelaide Oval.
They will.
What the Wallabies games are
outstanding.
If you like theatre before, I mean, as well as the game, the Waltzing Matilda, the national anthem, it's very patriotic.
It is.
It really lights the patriotic flame.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that.
Saturday
they
night,
smash
tickets
in too.
available. Get the ticket tech. They absolutely. Hey, stud.
Yep.
What is on the field? Should it stay on the field? It's on the back of Dane Zorko's unsavoury comments to a player. Where do you sit?
Not anymore. Now that we've got all these laws about vilification, be it racial, be it about your sexuality, and I think it should be applied to family. Obviously, Harrison Petty was so upset by it and so incensed that he was moved to tears. Now, compared to what Taylor Walker, there was no racist element about what he was said, but it was said directly to the guy. So I heard Taylor Walker was said to a mate, it was overheard, and subsequently he paid an enormous price for it. You cannot, in this day and age, you cannot vilify somebody on the basis of family or family circumstances. And we don't know what was said. There's been two different versions of it, but either one
is very poor form.
Is poor form and
unsavoury.
And compared to some of the other penalties handed down for on-field verballing, if he gets away with an apology,
both clubs are comfortable where it sits as we sit here today, which I find outstanding. There's been no fine, no club sanction, no sanction. AFLPA haven't interfered, nor have the AFL. No. There's a lot of people saying Zorko should lose his captaincy. Others like you are saying, well, if Taylor Walker got 6, this is as bad. You can't put degrees of...
No, you can't.
This bloke cried.
Yeah, but exactly. I mean, it's
so there's got to be some sort of
affected
sanction,
him emotionally, and it was
Walker
direct.
Got 6 weeks.
Yeah, it was direct as well. That's the other thing. You're right. You can't compare, this crime versus that crime, but they're both crimes.
Yeah, so look, it's pathetic if the AFL doesn't follow it up. And yes, look, he'll lose his captaincy anyway. Look, I don't know whether he's been a good captain. Or you wouldn't know unless you played under him or worked with him. But
if what he said is true, he wouldn't represent me as a captain. I'd be unhappy as a teammate.
It'll be very hard for him to come back from that.
Yeah. And I am loosey-goosey, you know that. I would have said far worse in the field in my day, Timmy.
He has form. Look, I guess it depends what happens in the final series, if they go all the way through, if they wwant a flag.
Do you want to talk about Carlton? Do you want to just
look,
talk
the only thing I
about,
want to say... The only one thing fact is stranger than fiction. You couldn't have written that.
No.
You couldn't have written it like from the first round to round 23, you're going to be in the 8.
In the 8.
Then the last second of the minor, you're going to lose by 1 point, by 0.6 of it. You couldn't look. And reminded me of the Melbourne Geelong game. Was it the last minor round game where Melbourne was playing Geelong at Cardinia Park. Ball goes out of bounds on the siren. Close punches it away. Gets a 50-metre penalty, which takes him closer to goal. Max Gawn takes a mark, puts him in front. They win. So they finish top instead of fourth, or basically,
which did help them get into the grand final. Yeah,
I mean, the circumstances that you've just got to put it beyond doubt. And they had every opportunity. They only had to draw. They had every opportunity to put the ball in the goal square and someone to knock it through.
I mean, can we stop talking about it? I cannot keep looking at Leith's face.
Leith, call the ambulance. Just call it.
The poor bugger.
I don't have the energy to press the button.
I have seen heartbreak before, but this is incredible. And you got every right to be in the 8 for that long.
It can't mean that much to you. It's just a poxy football club, Leith.
You saw it in all the Carlton fans' faces. It was just unbelievable.
Just a game, mate.
The only thing is, and Rowie made this comment off air, he said, Carlton's very best football is very impressive. So it means you're not far away.
Yeah, but some of the Crows beat Carlton.
Yeah, they did, but that's when they were coming down.
That's the game that cost you.
loss.
Stud, thank you. Is there anything in imparting you want to Adam Kingsley, GWS coach?
Well, he's been around the park for a while, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So he's been.
He got the job well done.
Highly regarded.
Yes.
Has it been confirmed?
Yes.
It came up on a Twitter feed. I just didn't know whether it had been confirmed.
Adam Kingsley, GWS coach.
Port Adelaide 2004 Premiership player coach.
The only thing I would say is, did they need a more experienced coach? It's a bit like the Stewie Jew.
Well, I think the little flea at Collingwood, 17th to top 4.
My word.
17th to top 4.
What an impressive job.
They've won 11 games by less than 12 points. I mean, you could not do that ever again.
No, good luck to Adam Kingsley. He's got lots of friends
Well
here
done,
in Adelaide and lots of friends at Port Adelaide. So
well done, Stud.
Good luck to him.
Did you lose any bets with any of your Port mates? Like Timmy and I'm off to the Birkenhead Tavern.
I wasn't silly enough, except I tipped Adelaide because that's what you do, and it's now plummet me by myself at the bottom of the advertiser tipping. Absolutely.
Do you want to come with me to the Birkenhead to give me some?
Well, actually, you did. We got a text to that. Cafe de Villiers that says, "I think humble pie needs to be eaten at the new Alberton precinct." Graham, you can join in the cause. And
who sent that?
It's Naomi. She says, I offer to have a drink with him at the Crows Club rooms, but you don't have one, says Naomi.
Oh yeah.
And that's back to the home base, which Anne says, yes, Tim, you're right, we've got to get a home base. That is correct. And Graham, how do you think young Jimmy Rowe will like it at Port Adelaide next year?
Will he go to Port?
Alex?
I don't know. I knew nothing.
Well, you would have to tell us if you.
I would.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I would.
Yeah, you want to talk about footy gods? The two Corns boys end up at Port Adelaide, and James Rowe ends up at Alberton, and all of a sudden Rowe's singing a new tune.
I do know them into a little small fort at Geelong. Let me just say that, Port Adelaide. I'll tell you after the break. Robbie, promise me one thing. At your lunch at the Birkenhead, every time you have to mention Port, please call them Port Power. That's from Sharon. You don't like Port Power, do you, Tim?
No, we don't.
Port Power.
No.
You're going to do that.
Adelaide Power.
Port Power.
Or the Power.
Goodbye,
Port
Graham.
Power.
Bye.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowie and Timmy G. 5AA Breakfast.
A taxi driver who crashed his car at Edwardstown on Sunday morning has tested positive to methamphetamine after a cab clipped the curb and ended up in a garden bed. Well, the owner of that garden bed is Karen of South Plimpton, who's on the line with us now.
His head was down, like when you just, nod off. So I quickly raced back in and rang 000.
Informing Adelaide.
So your whole job revolves around being able to drive a car. Well, that's him stuff now, isn't it?
6 a.m. weekdays on 5AA.
Enjoy a magical day out with Holiday Wonders Safari to Monado. Celebrate all of the new baby arrivals since your last visit. Board your cosy coach from several convenient locations and sit back and enjoy your African safari in comfort. Tour includes lunch at the house in Harndorf and is now priced at just $99 for this incredible day out. Holiday Wonders, Belair Road opposite Mitcham Shopping Centre. holidaywonders.com.au.
Whoa! That's Internode's NBN 50 plan. With typical evening speeds of 50 megabits per second, we may have made it... Whoa! Too fast! And it's just $59.99 a month for the first 6 months, then $79.99 a month. Call Internode on 13 66 33 to check availability. Seriously? Minimum charge is $359.94. Speeds may vary. New customers only. Offer may be withdrawn without notice.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Good afternoon, I'm Michaela Kamarek. A man wanted in connection with a significant national and international drug trafficking operation has been arrested on the Yorke Peninsula. An Adelaide mother charged with criminal neglect has been released from custody after prosecutors abandoned their challenge to her bail. Labor has signalled it may allow pensioners to work extra hours without affecting their benefits, and GWS have confirmed Richmond assistant coach Adam Kingsley will be the Giants' new head coach. Now checking 5AA traffic.
At South Plimpton, there's a smash on Marion Road near Crossroad. At Para Hills, another collision there. That's Bridge Road and Kesters Road. Globe W Park, we've got works causing delays on the north-south motorway. It's near St Kilda Road for outbound. It's backed up from Bolivar Road, so take Port Wakefield Road if you can. And Flinders Park, Urgent Gasworks, Findon Road near Grange Road. Cameras, Cavan Road, Dry Creek and Days Road at Croydon Park. If you have an injury, illness or disability, the friendly team at APM can help you find a job. Head to apm.net.au to find out that more today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Showers tonight, a low of 7, a shower or 2 tomorrow, 14. Currently it's 10 degrees. More news at 6 o'clock and as it happens on 5AA.
G'day, it's Baz from FIVEAA Milk Company. Just wanted to let you know that we're doing all we can to get behind our local dairy farmers. They've been doing it tough for a long time. Remember, when you buy FIVEAA Milk Company products, you're making a difference. So keep up the good work, SA. Look for FIVEAA Milk Company products in your supermarket. 3 words make all the difference. FIVEAA Milk Company. South Australian first and proud of it.
Are you ready for TQCSI Balaclava Cup Day, Wednesday, September 14th? All-inclusive and marquee packages are now available but selling out fast. Plus, tickets still available in the ring, located in the heart of the action at $170 per person. General admission just $30. Return coach transport is available too. TQCSI Balaclava Cup Day, Wednesday, September 14th. It's the most fun you'll have all year. To book, simply Google Balaclava Cup.
This Remember September, you choose the challenge. Give it up or move it. Choose to move it and you'll walk 63 Ks over the month. Easy, right? It's free to enter and you'll be helping PanKind help fund life-saving pancreatic cancer research. Connect with workmates, friends or family no matter where they are. Remember September, a way to honour someone lost to pancreatic cancer or stand with those fighting the disease. Register now at rememberseptember.org.au.
Scraped your caravan? Walker Crash Repairs, an RAA approved caravan crash repairer.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
25 minutes to 6. Tom Dudo very shortly. Crow Star. Still to come, your chance to win $1,400 thanks to the Barreau Hotels. $15 snitties, Monday to Wednesday, the Albion, the Excelsior and the Birkenhead, which will soon be the home of Stephen Road. Just a cop it from Port Adelaide fans. All of that before 6 o'clock.
Yeah, Port won Showdown 52. They were simply too good in the second half. Joining us is one of their leaders, one of our favourites, 5AA's very own Tom Duday. Dude, welcome.
Thank you for having me, boys.
Good man. In the end, it was a disappointing loss.
Yeah, we obviously didn't bring it in that second half, and that's not us. We feel like we've competed pretty well all year, even when our backs have been against the wall, but unfortunately, I don't know whether it was just the youth or we were just tired or we just, I don't know exactly what it was, but unfortunately we didn't bring it for the 4 quarters like we know we needed to. And credit to Port, they're a good outfit, a good unit, and they walk the walk.
Hey, Tommy, how did you feel at halftime in the rooms? I mean, I thought the game was incredibly close and well balanced, but what was the talk in the rooms? And you know, were you up and about thinking, yes, we're in this?
Yeah, absolutely. We were, to be honest, I thought pre-game I was a little bit nervous. We were sort of, it was a big game, and with Robbie retiring and the away crowd and stuff, you get that angst that felt like a finals-like atmosphere, and then I felt we brought it in the first half, and that was sort of our way and the way that we wanted to go about it. And that game, low scoring, make it really gritty, and then going into half-time, I was really confident, but unfortunately, it just didn't show up. And we've looked at it and we'll learn from it. And unfortunately, it's happened to us a couple of times in games this year, and they've always resulted in losses because you just can't give a team at this level an inch. But it's disappointing and not how we want to be perceived, or not how we want the end of the year anyway.
The way the second half unfolded, it certainly put you blokes down back under a lot of stress, I thought.
Yeah, you could say that. It wasn't an easy one back there. It was unfortunately like that. That's just how it happens sometimes. It was same against North Melbourne in the second quarter, where your midfields, you can have the best midfielder in the comp. They're going to have days where they're not going to get on top every time, and shoulders out and coming in the forward line hot, it's tough, but sometimes as a backs group, you just got to find a way to get it done. There was a few contests there where we got some spoils, but they were soft drops, and then the crummers were there, or we sort of thought we had good position, and then last second we get outbodied. But I thought the boys down back competed well. I thought Busty and Muzz were really good on their tools, and Joshy Worrell had a few different roles on Georgiadis and Gray at times, so they all did well in their own respect. But it was a tough second half, that's for sure.
You stood Robbie for big parts of the game. The crowd was right behind him in the second half. It was a bit like don't shoot Bambi, just let him shine, Tom. That's how it felt from the boundary line.
Yeah, I was sort of trying to just pump him up before the game and really get into his head, so he sort of took it easy on me. But I don't think he kicked one on me, but he got the mark inside 50 in the second. That was a nice little delivery from Boak, and then come out at half time and played on him again, and he goes, just give me one more, that's all I want, just let me have one more. And I sort of sort of actually felt like giving him one, to be honest. Just a little kick across the face of goal straight into Robbie's lap, and he can have one to get the crowd up and about and send him off on his way. But no, he's an absolute champion of the game. He was talking a bit of smack in the middle there, but all in all, he's been a thorn in our side for a while. And as much as I love watching him play, I'm sort of glad he's gone, because it means Showdowns, we don't have to worry about him winning a medal every year.
Cornsey said, as a team, you guys didn't fight back as a club when they called you arrogant and entitled. Was anything said on the field? And just on that, who's your team's intimidators? Who's your team's, with the tongue can cut or by actions hurt, Tom?
The first part of it, it was an interesting week in that regard. It was very, we sort of didn't buy into it or bite back, because we thought it was quite fabricated and sort of like it was all planned. It wasn't off the cuff, and it felt like they were all set up, and it was a media response. It was something that they wanted to do. So we just sort of thought it was a bit of an extra publicity thing, get more people to the game, get Robbie out, all that sort of stuff. So we didn't feel the need to bite back. But I mean, in terms of who do you reckon, Robbie? Who do you reckon's the best on field in that regard?
Well, I reckon the tongue would be Little Laddie, and I think actions and intimidation with someone that could possibly hurt somebody, probably the Fog, and he's getting better at that, Tommy. Yeah, look, to be honest, the entire forward line probably fits into both categories, and your son's right up there as well. Laddie's pretty good. He can always just go back and say, I've got 2 jackets to anyone that goes at him, so he's always got that up the sleeve. But the rest of our young group, they're pretty humble in that regard. They just let their actions talk. Okay. Was it a growth year, dude?
Yeah, absolutely. It was, obviously we would 100% have liked to see more wins, and we expected a few of those games to go our way, and I felt like we developed in a lot of areas, especially that the final, if you look at the final 4, probably the final 3 games and then the first half of Port, that was us, and that's what we feel like we developed, and some hostile environments in there, West Coast away, North with Ben Cunnington coming back. So there was some games there where we could have let it slip up, and we just found a way, and especially that West Coast game and the Carlton game, our ability to fight for 4 quarters is a really positive reflection on the group, along with all the development we've seen from everyone knows how good Saligo's been this year, Sam Berry's pressure, Fogg's second half of the year. So there's definitely growth there, and I know it didn't look as big from the win-loss point of view, but we've shown a lot, we've seen a lot, and internally we're very, very happy with how we come along this year.
Hey, Tommy, players now get a break, and I know depending on how many years you've played, you get between sort of 8 and 12 weeks off. I remember talking to Travis Boak about this, and I said, so what do? You obviously got to keep training and keep in some sort of condition. And he said, Timmy, I give myself 2 weeks to eat and drink anything I want, and then after that, I get back into it. Now, I was flabbergasted. 2 weeks! And I couldn't believe it. What's your sort of regime in this time of year?
I'm of the same sort of mindset, but I get probably 1-2 days in. Like, I was just at the club doing my exits, and I did a little bit of some weights and stuff while I'm there, because you go from being basically from when the off season starts, like after that 2 weeks, you train in 3 days a week, you gym in 3 days a week, and then you're into pre-season, into the season. Your body just doesn't stop. Yep. So after probably 2 days of drinking beers and eating palmies, you just feel like a bit of a slob. So you have to sort of try and sweat it out. I give me about 2 or 3 days of it, and I've had enough. But then in terms of letting the actual body rest, 2 weeks. But I don't think the best way to let it rest is is too many beers and palmies. It's probably better to just put the feet on the couch. But it's the Steely season. It's what we do.
Tommy, mate, I do it for 365 days of the year, mate.
I didn't want to go there. I was going to throw it out there, but I thought I'd better not. I'll let you bring it up.
I am absolutely match hardened with that. Okay, so exit meetings. Are you going to have? I don't know. What do they call it? A wacky Wednesday? What's the next week look like?
It's pretty interesting because the sample boys are still going, so we don't want to. We don't want to. Obviously, if they're preparing for a final, we don't want to have them on the beers all day and then rock up to training. That'd be a good look. And then, secondly, we want to make sure they're included. So we don't have too much planned. It's probably just little drinks and get-togethers and stuff. And then we'll probably look to do something a bit silly later on, but maybe around BNF time. But it's relatively different this year with the sample boys trying to go for a flag.
Yeah, good work. Hey, dude, have a great break. We've loved you on 5AA Breakfast. Look forward to hearing you again on Thursday. Rest up. Let's hope the back-end boys will make some really good list decisions, get some elite talent back in like they did last year with Dawson, improve over the summer and get into that top 8 Dude, thanks. Well done. You start.
Summed it up perfectly, mate. Summed it up perfectly. Good to be back on the drive, too.
Beautiful, about time.
The dude.
Thanks, Tommy. Beautifully done. Third generation chef Chris Jarmer has made it easy to hold functions. The legend has opened another room upstairs with a balcony. How good's that? For corporate events, birthdays, in fact, any celebration, get in touch with Jarmer's Kitchen Bowden, and they bring us a Crows player every week.
They do indeed. It is fancy made easy. We love Jarmers and Chris loves the Crows. Just before we get to a break, Cornsey talked about the pitch invader during the Showdown. So there is a very popular Instagram account called Just Adelaide Things, kind of the quirks of Adelaide and South Australia, if you like. The shoes that the man was wearing are now available to buy on Facebook Marketplace for $500. But more interestingly is that one of the young ladies, who is related to said pitch invader, put up a message saying, I saw you posted my uncle. This wasn't the first time running onto the Oval. He ran on 4 years ago.
Wow.
He had a 4-year ban. It was his first game back. He decided to do it again.
Oh, you clown.
Here are photos from
No
the first
way.
time and now the second time. So
He
there he is in
did not.
2018 and there he is in 2020. And if you want to buy those shoes, Rowie, if you want to pass the hat around,
The old Julius Marlowe's.
$500 for those.
You know why?
Light-in
He's
slippers.
got to find 10 grand.
Yeah,
Well, that's right.
Do they come with a compass in those shoes or not?
Well, I'm
No,
not
they
sure.
were the Barter Scouts.
Yeah. They were.
Yeah, they were the old Barter Scouts.
But interestingly, 4 years from now, will he just have that urge and go, you know what? Maybe I'll go one more.
I'll say
I don't
yes.
know whether I respect him or I just think you
I just think if it had been a more crucial game, a more crucial time, it would have been pretty dangerous. Maybe
You know
he
what?
picked the time.
And you don't
You
want
know
to
Maybe he's that
encourage more.
smart.
next time,
It's a bit of larrikinism.
next
but-
time, do it in the buff, get the lariat out. I mean, anyone can run your clothes and your Julius Marlowe's.
Where's that dump button?
Timmy, why's everyone going red?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you go on the buff? What?
That's too cold.
Yeah, night game.
Shrinkage.
Reward someone who works in healthcare. $1,000 thanks to Avanticare. Healthcare's heroes. We love this. You can nominate on the win page, 5AA.com.au. Give back to those who work in aged care, disability care, allied health and the medical professions. If they work hard to improve the health and well-being of others, they're heroes. Unlike our man who ran on twice in 8 years, they deserve recognition and reward. And your nomination could earn them $1,000 cash. Thanks so much again to the great team from Avanticare. Let's check the traffic for your drive home. For a new Mitsubishi, you've got two clear standouts, Wavell and Southern Mitsubishi. They're driven by Australian Motors.
At South Plimpton, there's a smash on Marion Road near Crossroad. At Para Hills, another collision there, Bridge Road at Kester's Road. At Globe Derby Park, works are causing delays on the north-south motorway near St Kilda Road for outbound. It's backed up from Bolivar Road, so take Port Wakefield Road if you can. And we're getting quite busy South Road near Southern or Brabham Drive. Cameras, Main North Road, Enfield and Port Road at Croydon. Get into Dad's Good Books this Father's Day with Dimmicks. Better still, buy one, get one 50% off a range of best-selling books. Find the perfect gift this Father's Day at your local Dimmicks store. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
We love our vast, rugged country, but out here, there's no place to break down. For 50 years, the team at Terrain Tamer have been engineering, testing and manufacturing off-road four-wheel drive parts. Over this time, we've learnt what is reliable and how we can strengthen a vehicle to ensure a safe journey. With Australia's largest range of four-wheel drive parts, we're the four-wheel drive specialists. So you can be sure no matter where you are in Australia, the Terrain Tamer team will be there to help you get home. With Terrain Tamer, you're in safe hands.
With everything going on, it's tough to stay ahead. But you can always rely on a great Aussie shed to protect your tractor, boat or car, even turned into your very own bar. Somewhere to pile up your bales of hay or to escape with a block of clay. Whatever the plan for your Great Aussie Shed, act fast, because our Great Aussie Shed sale is here at last. Visit one of our 4 display centres today. Olympic Industries, built to last.
For over 2 decades, Avanticare has delivered care with purpose to thousands of South Australians. Now, it's no surprise that this passion has made Avanticare Adelaide's leading provider of holistic Adelaide healthcare and wellbeing services, Rowie.
Now, your health goals do matter, whether you want to conquer lofty or play tennis with the grandkids. Avanticare can help you find your How? How, Timmy? How?
Exactly. With Avanticare Health Professionals, it's grown to over 40 staff with physiotherapists, occupational therapists, exercise physiologists, dietitians, podiatrists, speech pathologists might need that, and allied health assistants working together towards your health goals.
And this is what I love about Avanticare. They're bringing us the healthcare heroes this year, shining the light on heroes that work for health and well-being of others. And they are the true heroes.
Absolutely,
in
front
our
line.
environment. They are. Visit avanticare.com.au.
The 5AA Sports Show Mystery Moments.
Total shock and disbelief. Well, we thought we'd sneak it in before we return from the ad break. It's $1,400 thanks to the Burrows. If you know the moment, the clues are America and Hall of Fame. 8223 0055. Start the week off with $1,400 and a $15 snitty. Monday to Wednesday, the Albion, the Burke, the Excelsior. You just know it's a Burrow.
Saving for one of these? Maybe this. Then you're going to need one of these. Sorry, we didn't have a sound effect for a Credit Union SA 12-month term deposit account. But invest as little as $5,000 and we can give you 3% interest per annum. Save your way with a Credit Union SA 12-month term deposit account. Minimum $5,000 investment. T's and C's apply.
Everyone at the back, please. Sitting quietly, please. In a circle, thank you. Today we're going to talk about what we'd like to be when we grow up.
A police girl. Race car driver. I want to be a gymnast. I want to be a concreter. With Adelaide exposed concrete. I want to be a concreter too. Me too.
AdelaideExposedConcrete.com.au. Best on ground all year round.
What's a concreter?
Time for new tyres? At Bridgestone Select, you'll get more with 4. Buy 3 selected Bridgestone tyres and get the 4th free. Limited time only, conditions apply. For tyres and auto service you can count on, head for Bridgestone Select.
Scraped your caravan? Your insurance should cover that. Speak to Walker Crash Repairs and let them fix it.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show. The 5AA Sports Show Mystery Moments.
Total shock and disbelief. Come on, Timmy, make someone a winner to start the week off.
Oh, that's the way I like to do it. I've got Kay on the line. G'day, Kay.
Hi.
Now, the mystery moment, if you've been listening, the clues were America and Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give us your guess.
I think it's the commentator at the 2002 Winter Olympics that were held at Salt Lake City in America, obviously, when Stephen Bradbury won gold and all the other skaters fell over.
Shock and disbelief. I like it.
Yeah, total shock and disbelief, exactly.
Well, let's have a listen. Stephen Bradbury. Oh, you're kidding me. I'll tell you what, Kay, that was an excellent guess, and you had both me and Rowie in. If we could give you something, and we'll give you a $50 voucher to the Bro Hotel Group so you can go and use that wisely.
Awesome, thank you.
Cheers, Kay.
I thought
That's a
Kay
good guess.
Leith hit the buzzer a bit quick. A little
bit too quick for my liking.
Kay was really put a lot of work into that, and you just went buzz out. Kay, wrong.
Sorry, Kay,
Is he in a Hall of Fame? That's probably where it fell down.
Yeah.
Hang on, mate. Pick your bottom lip up. Pull your big man pants on.
Well, I'll do that because tomorrow...
No, he's still got the 24-hour rule.
Excitedly, yeah, unfortunately. Tomorrow we'll be on the Gold Coast because deep inside Wallabies headquarters, there on the Gold Coast, because there is a historic rugby doubleheader at the Adelaide Oval this coming weekend. The Wallabies and the Wallaroos take on the might of South Africa and New Zealand. So it'll be nice to see all the expats.
Big doubleheader.
Everyone cheering on Australia. Saturday, August 27. Get your tickets now from Ticket Tech. We want a full house. There's no AFL this weekend.
No.
Fill the joint.
Yeah, look, I think around 30,000 aside. We want to get 50,000 because we want to get these events at Adelaide Oval. And speaking firsthand, if you've never been to a Wallabies game, you haven't been to a sporting event. Don't worry if you don't know the rules. The action is magnificent.
Oh, they go
it's
in
the closest game to football. You won't believe how hard they go in. Have a Bundaberg and cola, which is tradition.
Yeah, but Cornsey actually touched on it. It's very patriotic, isn't it?
It is.
For all the countries.
Absolutely it is. Like, it's absolutely massive. So make sure you do that. I want to we don't self-indulge here, Timmy, but I do know how much of an influence you've had on this show for the last 2 weeks. The Premier's Department have never sent this sports show anywhere. no, Timmy, this is true. Ever, Leith.
Yep.
Leith, as long as I've sat here...
And after we go, they might not again.
Well, no, but we've been blessed that as a sports show, when there's been Cornsey or me or KG or Bone or Bix or whatever, we've been to Shanghai, we've been to... Dubai. We go here, there and everywhere, but we're normally funded from our own sponsors.
That's right.
And we love our sponsors. For the Premier's Department...
And Rugby Australia.
To ring our bosses and say, you've got a bloke in your sports show called Timmy G, we want him. And then the other dude, well, don't matter. Timmy, you have got cut through, son.
Yeah. And it was good of me to tell them, no, you have to come.
Yeah, you'd think.
Yeah, we're a team now.
Well,
he has to come.
The coach, Dave Rennie, has said, I want Timmy G up here inside Wallabies headquarters on the Gold Coast.
I'm looking forward to that.
Before the big game on the weekend. A little bit of news before we get to the last shout.
Yes,
so
please.
David Koch was asked on 5AA Breakfast about the possibility of Ken heading to the Bombers.
A lot of it comes out of this VFL media in Melbourne, who sort of cotton onto things a bit late and whip up a storm around it. But looking from afar, you look at Ken's list here and how solid the club is in Adelaide, and then you look at some other clubs and you don't need to be blind Freddy where you want to be.
Then he went on his own show on Sunrise and just channeled a bit of Daryl Kerrigan.
Tell them they're dreaming. And why would Ken go to a club like that?
Well, they might turmoil. A club like that, them there fighting words from a president, the club won't be happy with that. That's okay. There's an understanding of respect, Timmy, let's call it that, from board to Ken and Ken to board, that he sees out his contract, because there was a lot of supporters and maybe even coiterie groups that said, well, he's had his 10 years. You and I have seen the text that's going around, winning percent this, winning percent that, 10 years, he's got to go, blah, blah, blah. Ken did a solid thing back in 2020. He halved his pay, and that pay helped the club to keep the footy department together. And anyone of sane mind on any board that had a little bit of corporate governance and self-belief and all those, whatever the words I'm looking for, would honour that. They'd say, well done, now we're going to pay you back. Doesn't matter what happens, you're coach next year. I think that's a great thing.
No doubt about that. And look, I'm not sure about what you've just spoken about, but I'm sure
you know that Ken took a pay cut.
I did. I think he definitely took a pay cut on this deal that he got. Yeah, and I think that was sort of a little bit COVID related as well. Yeah. But it's just, I think we spoke about this prior. I think if you do a deal, you do a deal.
Yeah.
And whether that's a handshake or a piece of paper, I don't care.
Absolutely.
So the other story to come out of the Showdown was, we know, Robbie Gray's final game. Looks as though it'll be Carl Amon's too. Free agency's kicking in, the silly season about to start. He spoke to Channel 10.
Yeah, I think it's been handled pretty well by both parties, I think, and what the club's done, and I think they've gone about it in a pretty good way, so could be happy.
And to finish with a win?
It's a good win.
So there you go. Carly's on his way home to Victoria and could land anywhere from St Kilda,
he's going to St Kilda
or Carlton.
Well, let's put one and one together. Free agent, doesn't cost him anything.
Yep.
Hanbury's out. Hill is going out. Only Amon works there for the Indigenous Affairs with the club. It's a perfect fit. They need a wingman. They will miss him. I thought he would have been in the squad of 40 for the All-Australian, to be quite frank with you.
Yeah, look, I think he had a better year probably the year before, but he's been... his first few years, I don't think Carl really believed, that he belonged. And I reckon it took to about 60 games. And when he did, he clicked in, and his last 4 years have been very, very good for Port Adelaide. So he goes, I think, with a lot of well wishes from Port Adelaide. I think he's been a bit of a favourite of the fans too.
Has indeed. Beautiful league. Time for
the last shout.
What do you got for us?
Well, just on the back of Mr. Showdown Man and his Julius Marlowe's fully dressed, doing the dash and ending up on the Crows list next year because he's got some pace. He's a tall inside midi that can get inside 50 with some real power. 4 years ago he did it. He got banned for 4 years and he's back. Well, our Brecky team on Nova, Cousins, Ben and Liam, spoke to him.
I didn't have it pre-planned because it was obviously my first day back in 4 years. Yeah, mate, this is the second time I've done it. I nearly made it to the end. Last time I only got halfway, but this time I nearly made it. But with them bloody dressy shoes on, I sort of slipped a bit.
A bit of fun, a bit of laughter. Not the best pitch invader. I thought, you know what, you clown, you're going to cost you 10 grand. Hope Nova didn't pay for that interview. If they did, they're idiots.
I doubt it.
The most famous pitch invader for mine, was a pig.
Oh, there's a pig on the ground. There is a pig at full forward. This is extraordinary.
And it wasn't Tony Lockett.
No,
Had
Sandy
number 4 on
Roberts.
it. Big slippy,
That's
Mr. Boss Man.
hilarious when
Now
they're trying
that
to catch
is
it.
funny.
That
You
is
put
funny.
a little
It was.
pig in your purse and throw it over the fence. That's funny.
It was.
Timmy.
Well, it was funny. It was an infamous
Well, it was
moment.
hilarious.
Look, mine's more of a bit of a serious shout out. We've been talking about both Adelaide and Port Adelaide and the players that have to be contracted to make sure that they got enough numbers to play. Well, Port have had a pretty tough year of it. They've only won 5 games, but they beat Adelaide in the Sample Showdown. And I just want to shout out to the guys that have trained. Sometimes there's only half a dozen players on the track and all the rest of it. They put so much into that. We've spoken about them.
Yeah.
They're real heroes of those two clubs.
Yep.
And just to guys like Tommy Corcoran, Nick Moore and Jake Wiedemann, well done, guys. I'll take your
done.
hat off and clap to you. Well done. A tough year, but you finish it off with a terrific win.
Excellent. My last shout quickly is Suzanne on the text message says, Rowie, lose the 5AA hat. You've got a great head of hair. You're a good-looking man. Give the cap to Cornsey. Love the show. So get a bit of soul glow on the live stream.
Which camera do I look at for the 5AA?
Look at that one over there. No, sit down. Wrong one. Poor old Brooklyn's lost. Don't look at that. There it is. All right, we're going to go. We'll see you tomorrow from the Gold Coast inside Wallabies HQ.
The 5AA Sports Show with Rowie and Timmy G.
When you switch to Aldi, you'll save more on everyday items like fresh